I wonder if I could close this. Do 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 dee. Check your side. Does it show? I wonder if I could close it. Do do do. Oh, I think I hear myself. Old people using technology here today, and of course, say something, Sade. Don't just sit there.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow, this is nice. Hi, hello, Aaron.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, I I don't want to look at myself, so I took it off. I don't want to see it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were just waiting on people to come in, as you can see.
Oh, let people come in on. Oh, so I'm tagging it. So you go on Facebook, you can see it.
Yeah, I have it
See it,
showing on.
you know,
Yeah,
go on
I can see
Facebook.
myself nice and clear, nice and clean, like a
Yeah.
whistle.
But I'm not gonna look at it. But you know, whoever does look at it, hello to you all.
This girl claims she's shy and she don't want me to show none of her videos from um that she when she was playing and back in flow mo days, because we have videos we can show you guys. This is just impromptu, and sorry if I didn't say good afternoon. All right, sorry for my manners. you know um but we just making sure everything running smooth. Let me bring on that volume here. Everything running
Oh,
nice and smooth. We have a shot in the building. Where's my applause? Oh, I can't play my applause. My thing is not hooked up. Yeah.
um,
Sade, 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 Sade. Yo,
mm,
people, what's up? DJ Panras. This is called Unsung Influentials. Okay, and I started this interview process a couple of weeks ago. And my whole goal was just to meet up with people really close to me, musicians, artists. So far I've done like people mostly in the St. Lucian basin, a lot of veterans, Calypsonians. But today I decided I wanted to interview my sister right here, my music sister, who I shared so many memories with. We have so many mutual friends from Trinidad, New York, just on the pan scene. And we just met with the same goal in mind, to get an education and to further ourselves musically. And we have so much history to tell you about. I don't even know where we're going to start. I don't even know if I'm going to show you some stuff that maybe she haven't seen yet. We just don't know. Like, I might just do that to her. She, like I said, she claims she's shy, and this is Sade Constantine, virtuoso. Uh, she's gonna tell you all about herself. But let me just clear the air first, all right? Sade, you want to say anything before I start clearing the air? You want to say good afternoon to the people?
I would say good afternoon. I would definitely say good afternoon. And it's been a while since I spoke to you, Jones. So it's good to hear your little voice.
Right?
Hear a nice little voice.
Yo, we had some ups and downs. We had some falling outs. You know how Sade people. If y'all know Sade, y'all know how Sade is.
What?
She
Oh wow, that's not what do. Okay,
she's a
okay.
Scorpio. Like, she just stopped talking to you for no reason, and then you're trying to figure out, what have I done to Sade? Like, what is she? What have I done? Like, first of all, that's my first thought, because anything else doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like, what have I done? But anyway, I mean, yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you didn't cut me off. You go ahead. Whatever you have to say, I'm here to take it.
Yo, let me tell y'all, people. We have 6 people watching so far. People, share the live, tag your friends, people who know Sade. If we have mutual friends, if y'all know anyone who knows Sade and myself mutually,
You
tag them.
didn't tag me in it, so I can't see it.
Yeah, you can see your tag.
I don't know if I can see my tag. I don't know. I guess. Am I tagged in it?
Yeah, It should be there. It
Oh,
should be.
you
I
okay?
probably forgot to tag you.
Now go ahead. I'm tagging it.
You
Uh,
see it?
yeah, I see it.
All right. So, all right. So this is Shad. Like I said, Sade Constantine, virtuoso. Um, Julia. Good afternoon, Julia. How are you? Metro Steel Orchestra. Good afternoon, boy. Y'all in for a treat, man. We have some video footage to show you of Sade. This is all about Sade today. I mean, part of her story is my story as well because if it wasn't for her story in college, like I wouldn't have a story. She wouldn't have a story. I wouldn't have a story. It was both of us who were leaders of the steel band, Florida Memorial Steel Band. We were both leaders. I mean, whatever slack she would pick up from me, I would pick up from her. It's like we were like we are very inseparable together. We share the same sentiments when it comes to music, the same love for music. We had the same goal in mind. She entered Flomo 1 year before me, and I'm gonna show you a little clip of her first time. And she's gonna tell you about her experience playing with some wicked like so Darius, and we're gonna talk about Melch, Mark Brewster. Big up yourself, bro, if you're watching. And Kuma, what's up, bro? How things? Yeah, man. And you're gonna hear things. Like I said, we're like the yin and yang when we were in college. Like, I mean, this story is not just for us. I hope it just inspires a lot of people out there. Like, you don't even have to be a college graduate. You could just listen to our story and you're gonna learn so much about not just brother and sisterlyhood, just through like relationships, but just like just being a friendship, like being there for each other. Like she was there for me, I was there for her, and it is what it is. All right. So all right, Shadi and I's story started. I want to introduce the people to us. You know what I mean? I know you're not smiling right now because you're shy, you're nervous, but it's okay. Just like how she was nervous playing for Dr. B all these years, and Dr. B would push her to do things she didn't want to do. But anyway, yeah. So I met Shadi. I entered Florida Memorial University, 2010, spring 2010. I actually went there because I didn't have a school that I really wanted to attend. I was online searching for a school that had steel pan and music and everything. So I found this program. I contacted the school. I spoke with Dr. B, and Dr. B said, um, is we from a week away from that day that I spoke to her was going to be the first day of class. She said, you need to be down here. You need a pan. You need to send your pan from New York because we're not offering you a pan. Remember that, Shade? That was the
Yeah.
first story we all got. You're not going to be given a pan. You have to bring your own pan, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, what do I do here? So I contacted Mike Joseph, the leader of Harmony. I was like, Mike, I need a pan. Yeah, I'm going out to Florida. So long story short, got down to Florida. I met the first two people I met was Melch Pope, bass player, and Mark Brewster, who was another person who really like pushed me to practice, who taught me about practicing, what to practice, how to practice. So I think during that first week, I almost went back actually. I almost went back to New York because the long story with the state of the rooms and stuff at Flomo and all of that. Shadi always laughs at that story. The videos on YouTube. Anyway, and it has about 500 views. So 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 I met Sade and I actually met her at orientation. Do they call it orientation when we have to go like the first day and everything? We go to the gym and etc 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 and whatever. I think that was the day I met you, but I didn't know you actually played pan like with the bands in Miami or whatever. But we just spoke. We got to know you. Was like, oh, I'm gonna show you around, and I'll introduce you to Kioma. And I met Kioma that same morning. It was mad early in the hallway. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So we met. I met Kioma. She was on her way back to Trinidad the next day, and from there, Sade and I, we was like tagged from then. I think that afternoon, remember I told you I wanted to go back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in contact with Foster, and Foster actually was the one, Leon Foster Thomas was the one who said, "Boy, don't go back. Don't go back to New York. Stay here. There's a future here for you. You came here for a reason, for your college, for your education, whatever, whatever." So that evening, Foster picked me up and he brought me to the pan yard. Lo and behold, the same person I met with the same black and white sweater in the hallway that morning is in the pan yard. So I'm like, yo, Shawty, what you doing here? Like, you play pan with other bands? She's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was like a whole hype conversation. You know, when you meet somebody for the first time, you know how it is. And from there, it was the rest was history. Like, I mean, that's where the whole relationship with us. We spent 2 years at Flomo from 2010. I think you graduated 2012
Yes,
spring, right?
sir. Hmm.
And then I graduated summer, and we all wanted to get out of that school. Sorry for all the teachers listening. We wanted to get out, but we
That's
actually
not
stayed.
true. That's not true.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that's our relationship. So being that you guys know this and y'all know this about us, Sade is gonna introduce herself to y'all. So Sade, go ahead.
What? I said no introduction, but hello Facebook, hi everyone out there. Sade, Constantine, been playing pan for years. I might age myself here because I started playing pan at 5, and I just turned 34. So it's been a while. Yeah, went to Flomo in 2010, and I know you mentioned you talked about us being the leaders, but remember we was coming on the last end of it after the Kendalls, Kareem, Foster, Freddie, all of them was already like leaving. And
Right.
then we kind of came in on that last leg and tried to keep it going. But yeah, it was good. So yeah, so went to Flomo, graduated. Now I'm teaching, still doing pan. Pan is always gonna be there. Pan is always gonna be for me. Um, Teaching right now, still teach after school, doing music with Genesis. Yay, Genesis, all my Genesis friends, people.
Woo, woo, Genesis.
Um, and yeah, so that's what it is, and staying quiet and safe in these times. So yeah.
Yeah, but how before we like actually go into the beginnings, how is the
Mhm.
pandemic affecting you? How is the family and everybody?
The family's good. I mean, you feel it more during certain times. Summer we kind of made it work because you go, you visit, you stay outside, you get that fresh air. But now it's getting cold. School, everything, people at work, and everything's back in kind of a sort of rotation.
Mhm.
So you're trying to make it work, but it was like weird because even now Thanksgiving just passed, and usually I'm with all my family, and it was like, dag, I'm not spending this holiday with my sister. My sister had to do her thing where she lives, and we kind of kept it separate just because the kids, you don't want to be mingling. I was at work, the in and out, so it's weird.
Yeah. But I remember Thanksgiving being one of the best holidays for you. Like you would just leave. I remember one time we was at the school and we had like a performance outside the Lurals, right?
Hmm.
That evening Shadi had already booked her ticket, and like even before we were done performing, he was like, I got a plane ticket to
On.
you wasn't
Hmm.
staying in the cat food.
I was saying, not for the cat food, not that cat food. Remember, it had the one Thanksgiving I did stay, and then we ended up going by Foster. I don't know
Right.
if you remember that, and you was
That
playing
was
football at his.
birthday.
Yeah, that was Thanksgiving. No, that was Thanksgiving.
Okay. I forgot.
That was Thanksgiving. Yeah, and because none of us left, and we was like, "What are we doing on campus?" And then I think we like started making calls, and we ended up linking up with Foster, and he was like, "Yeah, come." And we all drove down by Foster. I think it was like me, you, my friend Jason, who I used to play with, pan with,
Yeah,
and we
Jason.
all went down.
Hmm. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
So, all right, I want to play. Let's see how this video thing goes. I mentioned to y'all that Sade came in a year before I did. So I made a whole playlist last night. I stayed up and I was like, we have so many memories. Give thanks to Miss Yalin, Miss Nicole Yalin. We love you. And she would record every single, she was like our mom, like put it that way. For those who don't know her, like she would record every single thing, our symposiums, she would record our classes, she would record every single activity we did. So one day I went to her and I was like, Miss Charlene, do you have any footage of us? Because I'm graduating, I want to hold something, I want to hold some memory. And she gave me like 5 DVDs of just like a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of memories. So last night I'm like, okay, I'm talking to Sade today. Let me see what I have on my computer because usually I save my videos there. Now I went on my hard drive. I'm like, yo, so many memories. My God. And this is one of them. Let me see if this doesn't crop. I'm gonna crop it myself. So just bear with me a second. And
Okay.
I want to show you guys Sade Constantine, her first year. She's gonna, do you know what I'm gonna about to do you know what I'm about to show?
No, but
Sade?
we should have had like a agreement prior to like okay footage. No, but from the first time I was at Flomo or the first time you came?
You came. I'm talking about like when you came a year before I did, or a semester before I did.
No, I have no idea what you're gonna play.
Yeah, she pretending.
No,
All
I'm serious.
So yeah, we want to make this a little interactive. So I want to show you guys a video with Sade. Like I said, I'm gonna crop it. This it's gonna be badly cropped.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I'm gonna crop this real nice so that everybody can see it. It doesn't like show badly. All right.
I
So
I
yeah,
I
unfortunately,
give
it
you the
doesn't allow me
story.
to do this before I actually go live. So this is it right here. This is the video. Ah, stop. Good. Here we go.
Jazz crimes.
Hello, Darius. Yeah, I can see much. Look at that. You see it?
But I have a story behind it.
So, so you can tell us like what was it? That was your first semester, right?
Yeah. So wait. So you can stop the video. Stop the video.
I'm gonna yeah. Go ahead.
So okay, because this is a bad first video you chose, and I will tell you why. Okay. First of all, my face looks completely uninterested, right? But that was not the case. So again, the story behind this video is, if anybody on here knows Dr. Batson, um, she doesn't have time for games. Like there's absolutely no games when it comes to Dr. B, and this was literally, I want to say I was on campus for maybe, it was no more than a week.
Uh huh.
So I remember, when I started at Florida Memorial, I started in the spring semester. So it was January. Uh,
Right.
the band was pretty. They were doing their own thing. Like you had Mark, Melch, Annie, all of them was just doing their own thing, and then I came in, and Dr. B, we had this gig, and it was like, no, you're playing, right? And then they had started doing jazz crimes already, and me, I'm coming in like, I'm I know jazz, but I'm not a jazz person, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And it was like, okay, we learning this song, and Mark started playing, and it was like, this is what we're doing. And then they was like, you have to learn all these other songs for this gig. So when this gig came, I was just like, first gig, let me see how this goes, because I never played with any of them before, and so that's what this was.
Uh-huh. Wow. You remember that dude that was playing congas?
No,
You
I
don't
don't.
remember him? He was a music major.
Yeah, I can't even really see his face,
I
so
forgot his name.
I
If
can't
both
remember.
of them was on there, they would tell me. They would be able to tell you exactly who it is. Yeah, man. So that's Sade. First year. I don't want to skip something from your beginning. I wanted to ask you before I showed that.
Hmm.
You grew up in Trinidad. You was born in Trinidad.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm from here.
Yeah, you was born in Trinidad, but you grew up in New York, right?
I'm American.
All
I'm
right,
a
you were
Yankee.
born in America. You always say I from Mobile, born in Mobile, blah blah blah
Oh, that's a woman, baby.
blah. All right, so I mean, what introduced you to music?
So this is how I really started playing pan. My sister and I were in Trinidad one summer, and this is no lie. We were in Trinidad one summer. We stayed by our grandmother,
Mm,
and we came back. I want to say we came back from Trinidad, and my mother took us to this band. Now I don't young. I was what, 4 going on 5 or 5 going on 6. Had no idea, like just no idea. And we went into this band, and it was like, what are all these things? That was like my first introduction, but it was here. It wasn't in Trinidad,
right.
right? And we went in once, and they had like I don't know if it wasn't a band luncheon because it was in Long Island. It wasn't a band luncheon. It was just them playing, whatever. I don't know if it was a practice, but it was
Uh,
ad lib. You say it was ad lib, and
right.
I think I can't remember exactly how I um, ended up liking it so much, but I know we went back.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was playing bass. And again, my sister and I, we're 5 years apart. So whether if I'm 4 going on 5, my sister's already 10. So she could get into playing pan. Me,
Okay.
on the other hand, you a little kid, so they not paying you any mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have a stick, and I used to go on every pan, and I was hitting, when people don't know about pan, and they don't care what stick, and
Kids.
you just hitting. And one day, my sister, like I said, she was playing six bass, and I went on the tenor bass, and I
Mm,
was just trying to follow, not realizing, there's something to this,
right.
right? Then eventually I just picked on, and then I started playing tenor bass, and they used to call me one stick Sade, because it's just one stick, and I'm learning. Y'all not gonna leave me behind. And yeah, that was my introduction. My introduction to Japan was them calling me one stick Sade, and me trying to learn songs, follow behind, because it was a lot of kids in the band then.
Uh,
Um, so it wasn't like overwhelming or anything, like you're trying to keep up. It had a lot of kids, but it also had a lot of adults. So I was
right.
just trying to follow behind and see, I'm gonna keep up, I'm gonna get it. And then from tenor bass, I went to tenor. And then from there it was like, no, we're gonna play all of these things. We're gonna learn. Yeah.
Yo, I remember your mom giving me that story about one stick shotty, and
Yeah.
that's not a story you would have told back then. You
No.
know, 'cause you were very like protective of yourself. I just know you to be that way. Like, oh, if I tell this story, like people gonna know, like, oh, I was called one stick shotty, so they're gonna start calling me one stick shotty.
That was my name for a while. It was like one stick shadow.
So let's fast forward now. You
Hmm.
All right. So now, what got you to actually start playing? Because I know you play different instruments, not just pan. But what got you to
Hmm.
start playing and then like further yourself into playing other instruments, etc., etc., etc.
So obviously after that, I kept playing pan. Um, Pan was the original instrument. Before pan, I wasn't playing anything, right?
Mm,
Then I got to, going through elementary school, third grade, I started playing cello.
okay.
And it's a difference, right? Because when you started learning playing pan, like I don't want to say back when, but when I started learning to play pan, that was the thing. It wasn't here's sheet music, play pan. right? That wasn't the correlation. It wasn't sheet music and pan. It was you learning to play pan, a arranger going to give you some notes, and that's how you play in pan, right?
By road.
Then I started playing cello and sheet music, it goes hand in hand. So now you start reading music and you have to play. But as you start reading music, and then I'm playing pan, you're starting to put correlations together in terms of how music goes. So
Yes.
I started learning what I knew about reading music, about playing cello, and then I started to incorporate that on pan. Like, oh, right? Like I always tell people, I learned how to read bass clef. As a cello player, you read bass clef. So when I started learning music, I was reading bass clef. And
Mhm.
then I started looking at all different instruments, right? That's when now you start, oh, let me explore. You start looking into all instruments and you're like, oh, there's treble clef. Oh, there's this clef. And then now you have to figure it out like, oh, it's not the same. So I ended up teaching myself how to read treble clef,
Okay.
right? And I did that because I wanted to start taking music I was learning on cello and putting it on pan,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? But it's like, wait, something's not right when you start reading, and then you start. I was like, oh, this is a different clef, and I taught myself to read treble clef to know how to voice it. So from young, I started. That's when I started trying to put things together. But then as I started playing more in ad lib, one of the guys that used to do music for the band, Ruben. He was
Hmm.
Ruben Nelson. He was good friends with my mom, and he used to come to the house, and he started teaching me little things, and the basic things too, like the 1 3 5s. Those basic things that you just need to know to make
Right.
music make sense,
Right.
right? But that was ongoing. So now you start growing with that, and then you start listening to other types of music, and then you're like, oh, what is this? Like there's more outside of what you're used to. So that
Hmm.
was really how it happened for me.
Hmm. What did your parents like music have an effect on you growing up? And does that have to play with actually getting into music, getting to love music, getting to learn music and tell yourself, all right, this is what I really want to do. I want to continue playing pan. Maybe I can take this further.
So music in my house was still is very prevalent, right? My mother, it's funny that my mother is not a quote unquote musician. She's a musician. My mother could tell you stuff, right? But she's
Uh,
not a musician. Like she can't read music. She's not like to say she's a pan player, but she's has played pan before.
uh,
But my mother listens to everything under the sun, right? Name a genre of music, my mother listens to it and she gonna tell you about it. Now, when you're younger, yes, you don't appreciate it as much. And I wouldn't say I didn't have an appreciation for it because I was listening,
mhm.
right? You listening and then you start like, oh, I enjoy this, right?
Right.
So I think as I was growing up and as she saw me growing up and sticking with pan and then playing this instrument and playing that instrument and sticking with the instruments, she already knew that music was going to be my thing. So it was never an issue of, how some parents is like, no. Actually, it was more so, okay, you want to play pan? Come in here with any low grades. Or
Right.
you want to go to the pan yard? Come in here and not have your schoolwork together. So that was the drive because I wanted to go to practice when I was young. I wanted to go to practice. Like, don't tell me I can't go to practice. It could have something going on with my family, and it's like, oh, we can't go to practice. I was disappointed.
Now I met your mom. That time I came to your house when I had locks. Now I'm a bald head. You know what I mean? But I had locks, and you invited me over to your house to get my locks done and stuff. And I met your mom, but I met her before that. I think the first time, and it just hit me. The first time I saw you actually before I met you at Flomo was Harmony Music Makers was having a band launching in the Panyard, right? And every year they did this, right before Panorama, they would have a band launching and whatever, whatever. And I saw you playing with sonatas, and you had those big shades on your face. You had the big shades on your face, and I saw you then, but I didn't know you. But you were playing congas,
Mhm.
right? And that's when I saw you first. And I don't know if you remember when I told you that when we met. I told you I know you from somewhere, and this is where I actually met you for the first time, and whatever. I know your mom and stuff. Your mom is a funny lady, very festive. I know, like during the Christmas time, that had to be like one of the maybe best times during the year for you, especially hearing parang and all them kind of thing had to have like a huge influence on you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Listening to all these parangs and whatever. But fast forward, scrap that out. Into like, let's say musically, music inclination. Where did you like really realize, okay, all right, I'm musically inclined, I'm ready to like, well, at what point? Let me don't mud it up. Just tell me at what point that you became musically inclined and you realized you had a gift.
I probably was like, I want to say maybe 9, 10,
Okay.
9, 10, because at that age, I was, like I said, just getting into music in terms of reading music and the theory part
Mm,
of music. And certain things started to come easy. Like, okay, if I don't go to practice and I come the next day, I was picking up songs like this, right? And or listening to something and I could play it. And
mhm.
I didn't even know, I didn't even in my mind was thinking nothing of it. Like, oh, that's normal. Like, okay,
Okay.
because I like the instrument. But then you start getting older, and then I was like, by 10, 11, I was like, ooh, yeah, I could do this. Like this is this is not a hobby. This is, oh, I want to do this kind of thing. By
Right.
10, 11, I was, yeah, I knew that.
Right. I want to see some pictures of your childhood. I wish I had some of them so I could just put them up on the screen so everybody can see it. So one of these days you have to put up some of your childhood photos so we can all see them and we
It's
can
funny. There's a video on YouTube, and it's
really
like, yeah, from Juve 1995.
you playing?
Yeah, me play. It's in my I played it in the beginning of my recital when I was graduating from Florida Memorial. Me and the guy on the camera, and he coming around, and I'm playing with ad lib, and I'm on the float, and the pan is here, and I'm just like leaning on it, and we playing
Really?
Overjoyed, and I think I was like 7 in that video.
Really? So
Yeah.
you should have told me that. I would have just played it so everybody can see it. You have
Mm.
to send me it. When you're done, you have to send people like I have a whole playlist of Sade's stuff. I want to like segue into that a little bit. Which one should I show them, Sade?
I don't know what you have, Aaron.
So because there's some of them you don't want me to show, so I have to be careful what I play.
There's like a
Right?
lot I probably don't want you to show, but I mean, when you play it, I'll let you know if it's acceptable.
All right, let's go with all right, let me be inquisitive here because I can see what I can see without you guys seeing. All right, we're gonna get back to the questions after this. Um
Questions?
let's play damn man, there's so many of them. There is so many of them. Um let's play part of your recital. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
You play it or no?
What I don't my recital. Okay, I enjoyed my recital. Which recital? Which part of the recital are we talking about?
All right. Okay.
Go ahead. Go for it. Go for it.
I'm just gonna play somewhere like man. Oh, Kobe. Wow. Look at this.
Kobe. You see
Kobe's in there, man. He's there. Like he's there. Look.
those. Yeah, I remember Kobe in the recital. I remember. He didn't even. I remember calling his mom, and
Mm,
I'm like, um, Kobe, can Kobe play? And remember, Kobe used to just come to the school, and it was no effort. Like we watch Kobe now, and you're like, oh, Kobe. And I remember him at coming to Flomo, and we practicing, and Kobe would just fall in. And remember, by that time, Kobe was only like 9, 10, and he
right.
always wear his sunglasses, and he used to come and kill it. And we used to be like, see, this is why we need to be practicing, because he would just like
Yeah,
play,
exactly.
right? Things that we have to practice and really, teach yourself and try to get in order. We used to call a song. Kobe used to stand there maybe 1 minute, and after that, he was down the road with it.
Got it. It was
I thought you said Kobe.
what up, Shama? Crystal, big up.
Oh yeah, this is talking about the colors.
All right, who's playing this? Kid, this a beast, man. Yeah, that was just Kobe. I wanted to show Kobe. We was just talking about him. So, he was I remember that time when we had what was it, the Steel Band Festival, and he came in. He came in with Kadeem. We didn't even know Kadeem yet.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Spencer. You know what I mean? All of them and all these other schools. Boy, we gotta continue with the videos just for a little bit longer. Here's Sade with, now mind you, she doesn't like when I do this, but nevertheless, we're gonna do it.
Yes.
Oh no, no. Play that one. I can't play that one. No, I can't play that one.
Oh. Wait. Ah.
Let's go Chicago. She making sure you're playing it right.
You can stop it now.
Yep. Yeah, I like Tico Tico. You love Tico Tico.
I did like Tico Tico. And again, Tico Tico got introduced to me when I was about 8. When I was in Adlib, there was a guy, his name was we used to call him Zambi.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a seconds guy. And he used to, them older guys when they they do that little shed or the pan. And so he used
Right.
to wear his hat. He used to have a gray afro. He used to wear his hat. And this was before I got on double second. And he used to just always be playing that song. And I never knew the name of it until I got older. But I always loved the song from then. So I always wanted to play it on pan. And this time Liam T came to do the festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
He came, and I don't even know how we ended up starting to play together. But I know Dr. Batson gave me the look like you gonna play. Dr. Batson used to give me that look when she didn't have. She just gave me the look, and I was like, okay. So he started playing, and then I was trying to follow him and get it because I didn't know it then. I didn't know the song. I didn't know how to play it on seconds then.
Right.
And
Mind you, I know these stories, right? But y'all find it, some people don't know the whole gist. They know, some people know, some people don't know. And speaking of the devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one that you didn't want me to play, but I will still play it regardless. Should I play it or no?
Which one is this? Because there was several. Okay, you know what I like in some of these videos? Like, no, you can stop this right here. You can listen to me. What I like about some of these videos, and I don't know if people, you have to know who Dr. Batson is to actually recognize her in the video. But if you look at some of these videos in the corner where she is very much in my peripheral vision, right? You see Dr. Batson standing there, and she was famous for that. She didn't have to tell me much. It was more of the mother look, like, like, when your mother has to let you know with her eyes, like, and it's the eyes where it's like, what's about to happen, right?
Right.
So if people know who Dr. Batson is and they look in a lot of these videos, you just see her just making herself present in my vision to let me know to get this together.
It was that symposium video, right? She was you had what was it? Was it symposium? What,
With what?
you remember that memory we had in symposium? Was it you had to do a speech? No, that was there was one of them where you had to do a speech. Was when we was wearing all the different colored shirts and stuff. We had the long
Oh, yeah.
sleeve.
So that was the history of the steel band. We were doing
Right.
the history of the steel band, and she gave everybody a part that they needed to do for the symposium.
Yeah.
And of course, my part was more the introduction into steel band, the who, the what, the when, those type of questions, right? So
Right.
basically, you had to know what was happening. So me, you know, very lax. I'm gonna take this lightly, and I'm gonna wait until the day before, maybe 2 days before, to really get what I have to say in my mind together, right? And then the basic stuff. And I remember I went up there and I think I said, I can't remember what I was talking about. It might have been like who invented the steel pan. And then she came
It's
and she
right
asked me
here. I got
some.
it right here. I can play it. I have it right here.
No, we're
Let's.
not gonna play it. I just explained it. You don't have to play it. And she just sat in the audience, and I think she knew, like, it was premeditated that she was going to ask me a question, and she knew because she kept asking me, did you know what you have to do, right? And it was more, yeah, Dr. B, I got it. Yeah, Dr. B, she not fussing with you. She not chasing you down. You know what you have to do, right? In her also calm but stern voice.
A stern voice.
And then she hit me with the question, and I was in the support. I was like, mm, uh, and then and she sat there, and this was her pose.
Dr. B must be watching right now.
I was like, wow, Dr. B, you really gonna do that? And she,
Yo,
yeah,
Dr. B was that exactly what it is. Black holes do not exist. I mean, it was exactly like that type of personality where you had to make sure. I mean, I don't know how to describe it different from any what they call these generals in the army, you know.
a general, a general. But
Man,
it wasn't, and the thing was like, and I say this today, it wasn't even in a bad way, like, but she knew how to get a result out of you. But it was the way in which she did it. It was I think Dr. B made sure she said the the fewest words possible,
right,
but that had the biggest effect. That's how I could describe it. Fewest
right.
words possible, biggest effect. And it was never a point where she had to raise her voice and kind of, it was more like this is what I'm saying. This is how I'm going to speak to you. This is my delivery, and this is the result I want. Are we clear? And you were just left to be like, uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. One
I
time,
remember I
yeah,
remember begging, going in Dr. V's office. At this time, she had moved into the we did over. Remember, they got us a new trailer,
right.
and the offices went in the trailer. So at this was, Jess, and she was in the back room. Remember, Dr. V had the back room.
Yep.
And I
Remember that?
remember walking in and sitting, and she's on the computer. And Dr. B, she's listening, and she giving you the head. And I'm like, Dr. B, just like, how can I convince you that I don't want to do a recital? I don't. And she was like, "Hmm, hmm, you could try. You'd be doing another semester." I was like, so in other words, no. It was just like, yeah, you can try. Mad simple, but you'll do another semester. And I was like, okay, okay, Dr. B.
Yeah, you're bringing back so much memory of Dr. B, yo, for real. We used to skip what's that thing we had to do? We had to play in front of the staff and them every like Wednesday or something like that.
Oh,
Jury,
symposium. Symposium.
jury. Remember we had jury? Was it jury? Something like that. I think it's jury where we had to always present something in front of all the music staff. They would sit in the music room and then we would have to bring our pan and play for them. You don't remember that? That was
I can't remember, but I kind of remember, but I thought it was symposium, but I think I
nah,
know what you're talking about.
symposium is part of it, but we had to do a jury where we had to perform for like the staff and stuff. And that
That was
was
like towards the end of the semester because we
not
had we did one. Wasn't that the same one we did? And Brian, right, was playing with us.
no, not symposium. I'm telling you, we had to do a jury every so often. We had to you had to do one for yourself. I had to do one for myself. There was also applied. We had to do applied
Mm-hmm.
where we had to everybody knows what applied is. You know what I mean? But anyway, it'll probably come back to you where we had to do that jury thing. But speaking of Dr. B, right? Because people, we have clips and stuff to show you of everything that we're speaking of. We have evidence to back it up.
No, we don't have clips. You have clips.
And
No,
this is when Sade, basically,
but
she had to do a
you see,
performance. This
you
was her
see,
biggest. This was Sade's biggest. How can I describe it? It was like her test of fate. She was getting ready to graduate because you graduated a semester before me, and this is when we went up to Orlando. We had to perform for like 500 people in the audience, and these people are in the dark. They just sitting still. It's like old people, all kind of different people, and Sade had to perform by herself, and she was nervous as hell. So let me just take this in for you guys.
you don't even have to do that.
Sade.
The nerves on this was, and again, I wish the camera would just go over because Dr. B was in the corner just standing there.
You did well though.
You good.
Damn, hit us some of that seconds. You remember that? You remember that, Sade?
Yeah.
You remember what you had to go through to actually learn that?
Yeah. But that's when I used to have, I can't remember the name of, was that jury? Oh yes, that was jury when we had to play one on one with the teacher.
Right, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
And I had you had Mr. Mufasa and
Yeah, I some
Mustafa
stuff,
and
yeah.
I had Dr. B on Wednesdays. Yeah.
Right. Then you remember. You
Yeah,
remember.
it was, and that was the most stressful like 45 minutes to hour of my life
I never
on
did it.
Wednesdays. I remember one time Dr. B asked me, she was, we were going through the different type of scales, the names of them, like the fourth degree, what we call that if you have to start from the fourth degree of the scale and those type of things.
Right.
And we were correlating it to we were going over Indian styling of scales and how they, and she asked me something, And I remember I answered, I'm like, the Ionian. And literally, I was like, the Ionian. But I answered her like that. I'm like, the Ionian. And
Right.
she's like, is that what you think? And so now at this point, I just started doubting myself because it was just, I was like, the Phrygian? And Dr. B watched me go through every degree of the scale until I got back to my original answer. And I'm like, the Ionian. And she's like, I never told you was wrong. You were supposed to know. So I was like, oh, like, like, because I answered her so unsure, she just let me go in my head and just start giving her a bunch of wrong answers until because it really was for me to look at the music and
And what's funny, Dr. B would be eating something in the process.
yeah, and nothing, and not eating like something heavy, something light too. It could just be like a
Yeah.
little light, a peanut, something light. And she just sat there, and I was like, after that, I was like, I cannot. I just really, I can't.
Yo, Colin, big up yourself. Look another beast in the house, man. Colin Lyons, bro.
Hey,
Was
Carlin.
right before us. Freddie Harris, Foster, all these guys before us, before we came in. I think when I came in, the last of the last was Mark. It was Mark Pope, from the choir. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it had. I mean, there are people who did like 5, 6 years at Floma. I don't know how they did it. You know, but yeah, man, Colin, big up yourself, bro. We just reminiscing basically. I call this one unsung influentials. Doing interview series, and it's always good. Like, I mean, we're in the COVID season, and there's so much going on. That I feel like it's time that we actually sit and talk about our memories, because we never know what 2021 will bring. These things can be everlasting. It'll be there to watch over. So we're trying to make it special, exciting, touch on all things, because we don't get to talk often. And I'm somebody I personally believe it's very important that we do so ever so often.
I
Um,
wonder if
mhm.
I had I remember, let me see, I don't even know if I ever put it on my music. Um,
What was that?
Let me see. I had the song. I don't know if you remember they used to do the like the composition competition. Do you remember that?
With where?
At Flomo, remember they used to have the composition competition and you do an original piece and
Uh,
you
yeah. Thing was hosting that. Who was hosting it? Miss Yarlin.
Miss Yarlin, right? And you used to have
Yeah.
to give in your piece. And I remember the year before I left, I won. And that same story I told you
Oh,
with
yeah.
Dr. B and her just sitting there letting me go through after I already gave her the right answer. And then after that, I went to Miss Yarlin. And Miss Yarlin was always very much active. And once you go to Miss Yarlin, you in for a story or something. Like
Right.
she was always in motion. And I was having a conversation with her, and I'm like, Miss Yarlin's out of this world. Like, so I went from Dr. B's room to into Miss Yarlin's room, and then I came up with the song, and it was called Scattered Minds.
Yes, I remember that.
And I did that with Annie, and I was like, Annie, I need you to do whatever on the keyboard, and then we came up with it. And I just remembered that as you.
You can share it if you have it on your Facebook.
I don't know if I have it on my Facebook. I don't.
Oh, you know what? I remember from that you did it on GarageBand.
Yeah, I have it here. Like, yeah, I have it. The
And
MP4.
it was part of a project. I think he was doing it for Mr. Mustafa's class, and you
Yeah,
had to draw out. You had to actually take a piece of it as part of like structures, because we were doing 4-part harmony.
yeah,
And I think we were actually the lesson after 4-part harmony. I think you had to do like play, like putting a melody over the chords that or the harmony or whatever. You had to basically you have a treble, a bass clef, and then you did that, and then you had to make it make sense. You had to make those notes
mhm,
actually sound the way that Mr. Mustafa said that you had to do it to make it structurally correct.
yeah. Oh, I have it. You could.
Yeah,
I don't. You could probably hear it. I don't know if you can hear my sound. Let me see if I play it. Can you hear it?
yep, I can hear it.
Yeah, that was this. I remember, and I did it, and I was like, all right. And then I won, and I was like, yeah, I would win for something like this now.
That was sick, man. I want to see that video. Bring it a little bit closer.
Huh?
Bring it a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, I did it on Garage Band with Annie.
Oh, Keisha.
That was Keisha, yeah.
Yo, Sade. Yo, you traced back my memory because I remember y'all closed the annex door.
Mm-hmm.
The three of y'all was just in there by yourself. I was hearing her spitting because we had pan practice actually that afternoon. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
was still in there doing that. And yo, and actually listening back to it, Sade, that shit sound like some real jazz.
I
Some real,
remember when I started doing it, and I said to Annie, I was like, "All right, Annie, this is what I need." And you know, Annie is like a 1, 2, 3. Annie Jules, Annie is like
boy.
a beast. So I said, Annie, this is what I need on keyboard, and it was like we had to score it. Remember, part of it was you did the composition, but you had to score it and hand it in. So then me and Annie was working, and she was like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do." I was like, "All right," and then scoring was never my strong suit. So when Annie started playing all of that, I was like, Annie, you gotta like slow it down. So then she was like, all right, I'll score part of it, you score the rest. And I was like, all right. So she scored, I scored, and then I was like, but it's missing something.
Right.
And um Keisha, I was like, all right, I'm calling it Scattered Minds. And I don't know if you remember, Keisha was the go-to for like, besides Miss Yarlin, like scatting. Keisha was the one that was always practicing that with Miss Yarlin. So I went to Keisha and I'm like, Keisha, I have this song and I need you to just do you on it. And I gave her the instrumental part of it. And you're like, all right. And we had scheduling, whatever, whatever. And then she came and then I think Keisha did that on maybe her third take. We was like, yeah, we just gonna use that.
Right.
And that was it. And then I was almost over the deadline and I had to hand it into, I think, Miss Yarlin or Mr. Hall or Dr. Hall. And he was like, I think it was Dr. Hall, because he asked me why he should take it because I was late, and he took it.
What class was that?
This what class was this? And I don't think it was a class. Remember they used to just have it every year, and then you had to hand it into Dr. Hall or Miss Yarlin.
Yeah,
And then they would judge it, and then they would announce the winner, I think, at the end of the year.
Man, wow, man. What we have memories for so. I have a video I want to play. Actually, I want to play this video and then I want to play some other things that we worked on together, like when we had to do music for the band, and we have that live. We have our symposium, the full band, like the full band from when we started to when towards the end when we before we graduated, when everybody was together. And there's even more that I'm not even probably gonna get to show. But yeah, thank God for the screen sharing thing, man. I just love it. I mean, you could just it's just so convenient. People, man, yo, y'all quiet in the chat. Y'all say nothing. Colin, big up yourself one more time, bro. All right, here we go.
Hey, huh? Oh, No. Stop. Stop.
What
Stop.
happened?
What you you wait, come on. Now you know in this video, you already know the state of frustration it used to be when the band got down to this, when it had to be like, because remember we had Sean, who now
Always fooling
is
around.
always drumming, right? Like now he going home, now he practicing his craft. You remember how hard it used to be to get everyone to come to practice. And Sam, Sam didn't used to have time, and they used to say, "All right, Sam." He used to be like, "I'll be at the show though. I'll be at the show." And then,
Yeah, because it was supposed to be more people, I think, or was it just
right,
us? Oh
and
no,
then
that was my thing because it was Miss what's her name? Miss Miss Martin. Miss Martin. I was liaising with Miss Martin because she always would see me and stop me. And she was like, "Oh, I want y'all to do a little performance in the whatever they call that area
mhm,
right, in the school." And I checked you and he was like,
mhm.
"Yeah. No." And then we talked to Sean and we talked to who's always late and who now
And
has
then
dreads
Sam.
and who used to diss me about my dreads. And then we had Sam, man. So yo, I want to play this. Let the people hear it.
Oh, this is because this was no, no. Because I don't know if you remember this exactly, but these was like times when we used to just try to get through a gig. You would tell Sam, like Sam, we in the key, we in like E flat minor, and
Right.
Sam would start playing in a whole nother key, and we end up trying to follow what Sam doing because Sam is like, we're like,
Wait,
Sam, all right, the bass line.
let's actually hear if he's on key here. He's not. Listen.
Yeah, it just stop because you know how frustrated it is. It was just to be like, all right, at this point, I'm just gonna play what I want to play since everybody play what they want to play.
Right.
Yeah, no, Aaron, you can
Hey,
stop.
here's Miss Yarlin though. Miss Yarlin just came in. Miss
Miss
Yarlin, good
Yarlin,
night. We tagged you because
Miss Yarlin.
wanted you to see us just reminiscing about our past times at Flomo. I don't know if anybody else at Florida Memorial does this, but I mean, for us as musicians, I think it's so important for us to talk about our memories, because I mean, we gotten older, and I mean, more responsibilities. Sade has become a teacher now. You still teaching, right, Sade?
Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah, and I actually remember when you had to go down to Virginia.
Mm, mm.
What happened with that? I mean, I know like when we left Flomo, what you actually did when you graduated, what happened?
Um, what did I do when I graduated? Let me see here. Let me think.
You wanted to become an entertainment lawyer, right?
Yeah, so I went to Full Sail. Remember I said I was gonna do that. So I did that. I graduated in with a business, but I did entertainment business was the concentration,
Uh-huh.
right? So um and then you had the entertainment law classes because I remember I said I went to do entertainment law. Um so I ended up doing entertainment business, going through all that stuff, graduating from there. And then I came back to New York. I ended up being the associate director for the Virginia Arts Festival, right? So I
Really?
went down there for a year
Hmm.
and I was doing that. Um, I think more or less it was just a fit. It was just a fit thing for me. You know what I'm saying? How comfortable you have to be in what you're doing. And for me, like if I'm doing a job, sometimes it's more than a job to me. Like, people are like, oh, how could you teach kids? Well, it's more than a job to me. Like you have to enjoy it, right?
Right.
So for me, I don't mind waking up and going and teach the kids, right? That's not a problem for me. It never seems like work, right?
Hmm.
So when I went down there, it was more like comfortable and how things, it just wasn't a fit. So then I ended up coming back,
Hmm.
um, worked for Apple, and
Oh,
then I got into
right. You told me that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was working for Apple. While I was doing that, I started doing teaching fellows,
Ah,
just to see where it takes me. So I did teaching fellows, and then I ended up graduating with another master's in like 2017. I ended up graduating with another master's for teaching, and then I started teaching, and I've been teaching since.
Wow, you know, I
But
didn't know
then,
all that.
yeah.
I
So,
had
but then I what happened is the school that I was at, we put a PAM program in there.
uh,
So I teach after school, and then I teach kids too. So yeah.
so that's where the name of your band started, Genesis.
That's a long story in itself. But no, the genesis didn't come from that. But like basically it was just a lot of things going on. Obviously, I came from sonata. What I didn't come from sonatas, but I was playing with sonatas, right?
Right.
So when sonatas kind of fell off, a lot of things was happening underneath, right? Where it was like, all right, so it kind of had to come to a stop at the
Mhm.
time, and we wanted to keep going. And you can't, it's like it's like you saying, well, I want to keep going because me and Sade is good, and I want to use her brand, right? You can't just use a Sade brand. I can't just go and be like, I'm gonna use Duvon's brand. You know what I'm saying? Who he
Right.
is as a person to keep going.
Yeah.
So we had to separate it, um, just for certain purposes, but not anything other than that. So yeah, that's where Genesis came from. So he came up with a new name, a new
Wow.
beginning, Genesis, right? So
Yeah,
the
because
ride,
we
yeah.
haven't really met often. I think we only met twice since the time we graduated. In 2000, we
Mhm.
graduated 2012. We in 2020. We only met like twice. I met you at one band launching. I think it was one of those bands. And then,
That's when we was using Metro's yard.
right, we
We was
met
using
there.
Metro's yard, yeah.
Since then, man, we have failed to really meet up
Mhm.
and stuff. But we actually wanted to. Remember, we was trying to come down for homecoming, and we didn't
Yeah.
get to do that. And then it was Mr. Mustafa, like, his and all of that and whatever.
Mhm.
But I mean, we here. It's 2020. We here, and we just we vibing.
Yeah.
So Miss Yarlin just said she misses us. She's proud of us. And Miss Yarlin, we're happy that you were always there for us. I mean, I really wish, and I thought about it so many times. I wish I could have done something and given back to a lot of the professors like Miss Yarlin,
Mhm.
especially Miss Yarlin, like to do something like
The,
where we can just come together again.
the good part, the best part about Miss Yarlin and having Miss Yarlin as part of the music staff was um with Dr. B, it was very like I'm giving it to you straight, right? Like you're gonna get that straight. Mr. Mustafa, you remember when we used to try to trick Mr. Mustafa always used to be two paces ahead of us all the time.
Yeah.
So we used to think that we were doing like rings around Mr. Mustafa. And then when he finally used to catch us, I don't remember, he used to sit us in his room, and he said, let me tell you about this thing, man. Let me tell you about this thing. Because you remember, he wanted us to get into that jazz theory. He wanted us to practice. He said, y'all need to be, y'all ain't practicing, man. Y'all not. But then you used to get a break with Miss Yarlin. Like Miss Yarlin didn't play with you, but at least when you went to Miss Yarlin, you could like breathe and be like, Miss Yarlin, and then Miss Yarlin, she would talk to you. But then when she was ready for her stuff, it was like, we not playing. But Miss Yarlin was the one you could get the little breath, like,
So Miss Yarlin has paved the way for a lot of, because like you said, Mr. Mustafa was that strict person. He was always in his office.
mhm,
Not many people would go to him unless you're really a jazz person or you really
yeah,
like have classes with him. But Miss Yarlin, everybody was looking for Miss Yarlin. Ah, have you seen
yeah,
Miss Yarlin? Have you seen Miss Yarlin? Oh, Miss Yarlin, Miss Yarlin, Miss Yarlin, Miss Yarlin, Miss Yarlin, Miss.
hmm,
Everything was Miss Yarlin, and she made it happen. Everything possible, she made it happen. And like I
definitely.
would never forget Miss Yarlin, man. Like for real, for real. A lot of us owe it to her. Like honestly, owe it to her. Yo, I'm gonna mention a couple of people from Flomo, and
Uh-huh.
I don't mean to say Flomo, but the teachers don't like when we say Flomo. Florida Memorial, FMU. I mentioned a couple of teachers, maybe persons, and you tell me what was your relationship like with them. Dr. Hall.
Dr. Hall was strictly business. He's strictly business. I didn't I did associate with Dr. Hall, especially when you remember when he what class did we have with Dr. Hall? Conducting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't play with that. But strictly business, Dr. Hall was no nonsense. If you wasn't talking to him about work, then it wasn't much to say to him.
Right. Dr. Yaklich.
You had to mention, you know,
Just say how you.
Dr. Yaklich, right? That was theory,
Right.
and
Yes. You have what class?
he she was the last set of theory that you had to take. And
Yes.
remember, at that point, I was like, I'm not really trying to go to class. And then I used to not go to his class, but then he used to come out and I used to be sitting right by the music building. And you remember he didn't say much. So he used to look at me, I used to look at him. And it was just like, as long as you have his work, we
Yeah.
had an agreement here.
You
Like,
need to buy this book.
yeah. And he had the theory book we had to buy, and it was just, yeah.
Right. Wow. Mr. Poindexter,
Mr. Poindexter was
the art teacher.
you know what? I have much to say to Mr. Poindexter. Interesting character, but yeah, Mr. Poindexter, I have much to say with him.
You have much to say. You just knew he was. You just saw him just walking around, whatever, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. Who am I forgetting?
Mr. White.
Mr. White.
Mr.
Yes.
White was my guy. Cause I don't know if you remember, what happened was, remember when we used to have spring break? I used to like to go home, but then once Mark once Mark graduated, you remember the choir used to
Yeah.
go on tour.
Right.
And so once Mark left, that means I had to go on tour with the
Right.
choir. And I Mr. White, I used to beg Mr. White not to go because I wanted to go home. And again, just like Dr. B. So that's how me and Mr. White ended up having the relationship we had. So I was able to always go to him for stuff, because I started playing with the choir. I used to go into the choir while they was rehearsing and act like I could sing. I used to go sit in the alto section with Darcy and Trey Keats, and act like I'm an alto and I can sing. And Mr. White used to ask Mr. White, can I sing? Mr. White would tell anybody they can sing. He's like, you want to come sing in my choir?
Oh. Memories, yo. I remember when they had to combine the choir with us with the steel band, and it was like we had to practice for tours. I remember one tour you guys went, and I didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? I remember that. Yeah, Mr. White would just always stop like people that would be going to the aviation building for class. You want to join my choir?
Yeah,
Yeah, I promise you a refund check. You're gonna get a lot in your refund
just your scholarship, man.
scholarship. Oh my God, Mr. Ford.
Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford came, I want to say what, 2 semesters before I graduated. So I
Mhm.
think I had a full year with Mr. Ford. And he was big, man. He was a giant. And like, people they know he was a giant. And I remember having conversations with Mr. Ford and him, I think he was going for his doctorate at that time.
Yes. Yep.
And I wanted to do. That's when I kept talking to him about entertainment law, and he really he believed that I was gonna do it, and he was like, "When you do it, you let me know, and you'll be my entertainment lawyer." And
Yeah.
he used to like just tell me, about direction and about how serious it is to take to get the music where you want it to be, what
Right.
you have to do. He was
Yeah.
that type of guy. Like, I'm gonna have that conversation with you because I know you could do it, but I see you not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Ford was like the one of the coolest teachers you can talk to. He was down with practicing with you. He was
Hmm.
down with giving you advice, teaching you stuff. I mean, he was just an all around person that you could just get anything. We had it good, man. I mean, despite that, we were at a private college. I mean, it was expensive. We had complaints. We had a lot of complaints about this and that and the third. But I mean, honestly, looking back, you think you would regret that experience, or you would just take certain things out of it?
Uh, I don't regret. Actually, no, I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
During those 2 years, no, I don't regret anything. I think I regret the practicing because sometimes like there was times, once you got good with the security guards, if you wanted to practice, they'll let you practice. They'll let you stay at that trailer in the music building till all hours of the morning. I don't know if you remember when we used to just sit out there and sometimes have the pans out and it's like 10, 11 o'clock at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And I think, part of it is realizing that that opportunity is not going to be there forever. So we should have took advantage of it more, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, things
Because
I used to slack on when I just didn't feel like doing. I didn't feel like doing the theory part. I didn't feel like doing this. I mean, yes, now I know it, but it was just like I remember back then. It used to be like a hassle to want to open a book and do any part of theory.
exactly. Exactly, yo, exactly. I don't think I would take anything. I mean, with any experience, there's always the good and the bad. You know,
Mhm,
oh, you always have to take the good with the bad, and that's what make you, or break you per se. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And like honestly, those days I could never how you say it, replace them for anything else. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like these professors that we just name, the major ones. I mean, I probably forget one or two professors. Oh, we had Mustafa on sax when
mhm.
he came in.
He really Mr. Mustafa Jr.
Junior, yeah.
Right? Remember when he came in again? He made us join the jazz band. It wasn't even a ask. It was like this is when we practicing. Y'all need to show up. And
Yeah.
I remember when he started saying, "Well, transcribe this solo. Well, play this. Well, we gonna play." I remember he used to throw the music at you, and he used to be like, "One, a two, a 1, 2, 3, go."
But
You remember that? It
yeah.
was no. It was like, no, we reading the music now. I'm not. You're not getting a prelude, anything. It was like a 1, a 2. Like, oh, all right. Here's Blue Monk. Here's what was that other song we played?
Strasbourg Saint Denis.
Yeah.
Well,
And remember, us now, we try to play the pan, and we keeping up with keep up the jazz band. And then Hubert came on keys, and he's like, Hubert, come on, that's not how you play that chord, man. That's not how you play that chord. You gotta let it sing, man.
chest, boy, chest.
Yeah, and then he point at you, and it's like go. And he could leave you soloing for 5 to 10 minutes, and he don't care, and he just he's like, no, you guys gotta know. You gotta know how to move these chords. Read the chords, man. Go ahead. That was my relationship with him.
Yo, Mustafa Sachs, if you're listening, man, props to you because I mean, after Mr. Mustafa Senior got sick, he took over the jazz band, and I remember that first day when he came, we were sitting in the trailer right before they demolished that trailer, and he sat with
Mhm,
us. We had a meeting. We introduced ourselves, blah blah blah, and whatever. I wasn't really that good with reading music, and that's
mhm,
where you were a lot like a huge help. That goes back to what I said earlier in the beginning. I mean, you was there like I would just pick off of you if I didn't know something. You would just know it already, and I would just flow right behind you.
mhm,
So yeah, man. I mean, props to Mr. Mustafa Senior for always like taking over and doing a hell of a job with
mhm,
that jazz band because Hubert is one student of that. Of this guy. I mean, when Hubert didn't want to practice, he had no choice but to practice.
mhm.
You know what I mean? I have another video here I want to play. This is another video that we worked on together. Not another video, another project. This was Symposium.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Today we're putting on a performance at Symposium. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna perform a couple of songs for you guys, and hope you enjoy it. Before we actually start, just trying to rush. Just want to introduce the band. All of y'all know everybody. We got Reverb. You know Hubert had to play that man. Speedy. I hear some of the songs. We got Khabib. This is Brian, who's about to recite on next Sade on bass and second. We got Uncle Sam. That's right. We got Kevin. He doesn't go ahead, but every now and then. I don't know this guy. Sean. And Deborah on drums. All right. It takes a lot to carry this band over here. So
can see your eyes.
And
Yeah.
all right.
You heard what you said, right?
No.
You was like, Aaron, start. That's what you said.
You know how it goes.
Morning. You mean Grover Washington version of So Houston and Aaron Reed.
Now, I just,
Nice
you know, you show some of these videos, and I'm like,
Right?
I don't know what he said.
That's Ralph and CJ recorded. That's Brian playing all those in between notes. That's Sade. I said that's Brian playing all those in between notes.
yeah.
Right.
I remember when we, I remember when we had to do this symposium, and Dr. was like, "All right, you guys will be playing," and so we were like, "Okay, we just got to get the songs, you know, together." It was like we're gonna play,
Yeah.
and so yeah, if you look, we're all in different color button-ups, right?
That was your idea.
Yeah, everybody gonna wear a different color button-up. We got black slacks. We gotta perform. And we were setting up, and Brian came. But Brian used to just show up, right? It wasn't no practice for Brian, man. Rest in peace to him, man. He was
Yeah,
a funny guy.
his philosophy was like he wasn't really with it like per se, like with it, like he always had his own thing that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he came, and we were like, okay, we practice, you know, we setting up. And Brian came, and all we saw was him put up the pan on the stand. And we was looking at each other like, all right, so Brian's playing. And I remember he used to do the same thing. All right, just tell me the key. Just tell me. Everybody was, oh, just tell me the key. And Brian would take off with the song. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes he'd be like, what's going on? But sometimes we're like, all right, Brian. But he didn't care. You see how he set his tenor up like I'm gonna look in at you guys. Like I remember that.
I want to play where the part where you had to come and play seconds, because remember we used to interchange. So certain songs you would do, certain songs I would do, and that's how it was. And that was Kadim's actual first time joining the band.
Yeah.
Right, and that's his first semester. I remember that Kelly, boy, Hubert was learning the cello, right? And then we had Sam was learning the oh my god, look at I'm just like flashbacks when I mention everybody's name. I'm remembering every little part, because remember Sam had a hard time trying to learn to play the guitar, and because he didn't know what to do. Like we had to like try to slow the band down, make sure he got it, etc., etc.
That I remember that being our responsibility. I think it was a semester that we was like, no, everyone is playing pan. It wasn't an option. Like when I say everyone was playing pan, remember we used to have, you know, you could just we play pan, and then they, you know, Melch was on bass, right? Yes. And then you had the keys. And I remember when Dr. B, when they came, and Sean and whoever else, Shamal, Kadeem, and they came, and it was no. Everyone is playing a pan, a steel pan.
Right.
So we ended up having to teach Sam how to play. Hubert used to take up on keys, and then we had to take Hubert from keys to learn how to play cello. And this is people that never touched the
Right.
piano in
I
their life.
never played a pan before, and like that was our responsibility because Nutch wasn't gonna do it. Mark wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Mark was already
Well,
doing it.
Mark was gone too, and he was gone now.
Yeah. And it was our responsibility, man. I mean, if y'all want to see a lot of these stuff, there's a whole playlist called Sade. I have to actually change it, and I have to send it to you when I'm done, so you can watch it over. All right, AJ, big up yourself, boy. Team Goose. We're gonna get to sonatas soon, but Sade and I were just reminiscing over our time in college because that was like a big part of our life, right? So we just like reminiscing over some parts of the playlist that I put together here. There's so many things, but yeah, here's Sade.
No, you don't need to hear. No, you just heard the band. Yeah, you remember I used to look like okay. It's Torment. It was actually done by somebody who
Torment.
His name is Leon Foster Thomas. He graduated in 2005. I don't know if you remember. I used to like to play. That was Foster's first album. I'm gonna have solos for the future. Brian, who's decided this next Wednesday, and right next Wednesday, right? And
That's my song, or
I think I did this song, right?
Torment? That's Foster's original. Yeah, so we can talk and run it down. Hey, big up Natasha, boy.
Brian was playing the wrong thing.
Yeah, actually, he was playing the wrong thing. I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
And was
Go ahead, you can talk. I'm hearing you.
oh, I was saying when he was playing this, I remember when I did this song, and again, this is when we were responsible for teaching
Right.
and Sam on guitar and Hubert on cello.
Yeah.
And the strum, when we got here, giddy-ging, 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 giddy-ging,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to be playing the melody, but Sam could never get that strum down. So I always used to have to change over to the strum during certain parts because he would never get, like, people think to this day that da-da-dum 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 and da-da-dum 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 da-da-dum,
Right. It's
the
a big
same thing,
difference.
and it is not the same thing.
Yeah, man. I want to show them the part where the phone call. You remember that part?
No,
You don't remember the phone call part?
who got a phone call? That was Hubert on cello.
Right. I want to show that we can't do nothing without showing that part. I mean, that was
What was
significant.
that? What song was that?
That was you forget? You forgot?
Yeah.
Are you forgetting so quick, girl? Are you forgetting so quick? All right, let me source it. It shouldn't be that far behind from where I was right here because it was a two-part series. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was. Let me bring it back up.
Okay.
All right, let me bring it back up. And this is where Dr. B had interrupted you because she wanted to say something.
Bring back the shame, Aaron. Bring back the shame.
Let's go. All right.
Mm-hmm. Part of assignment do I do? Yeah, I need so.
This is it, actually.
What I do was obviously written by Stevie Wonder.
Obviously.
The song was released in 1982 on the album Stevie Wonder's Original Musicarian. Actually, the song is 10 and a half minutes long. And it has Stevie Wonder rapping and Desi Gillespie performing.
Gillespie.
See, did you research, baby?
Before they go into it, I'd like to say that the group, the Steel Ensemble, is under my direction, but basically all I do is go and tell them I like something, or I don't like it. But they do all the work, they do all the arrangements, they make sure they practice. You know, I don't really have to do anything with that. So everything today is their doing.
Oh, she gave us props.
And so to clarify, in case there was any nonsense. This was the Stevie Wonder song. Oh, this was Do I Do.
That's right.
All right.
Who did I did this?
Yeah, you did it. You were playing seconds. Remember all the songs you played seconds and
Oh. Yeah.
Don't do that again, bro.
Nah, it's just important, man. I had a gig. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do. You done? Yeah, I'm done. You done with going to mom's? Nah, mom's still. Sorry, guys.
Content.
all because of what'd you say? What'd you say, Sade?
I said, oh my gosh, I was remembering when he was playing it and Brian kept rolling on that C, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like at the right time. So it never like, and the way he would put it, so it just didn't go with the voicing. And it was almost heartbreaking.
Yo, so many memories, yo. Oh, that's my bass solo. Turn it up.
Whatever y'all want. Y'all ain't any
Yo, that was one of the best times ever, man. I'm telling you straight
guys
up.
used to just like practice an ending, and then when it's time to rehearse the appropriate ending in front of people, y'all used to just do whatever you want. Sean, all y'all.
Oh my God, so many memories, yo.
All of
Hey,
it.
I want to fast forward to Sonatas real quick. I
Okay.
want to just make this about Flomo because you have just I don't even know. There's no description to you. You're like you seriously. Let me give you your flowers now because you are very. You are. I don't know. I don't have the words, yo. Because if I have to describe you, it'll take tears, really and truly. Because
Aw,
you
in
are
that.
you. I mean, despite that, we always had our ups and downs as friends. I
Mhm,
mean, when we graduated, we got separated and then we got back together through Steel Pan. I would see you at the band launching.
mhm.
Every time there's a band launching, I would see you. And it was just good days. I mean, like they can't bring those days back for real. I mean, we can never get those days back. But I mean, for Sonatas now, I mean, going back to New York, what was the pan scene like? I mean, being away from it for 2 years straight. I mean, you were always with it because you would go back,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
never fully got out of it, right? Because it was so like Pan is like something. It's if you in it, you know you in it because you would do some things for Pan that just people just was not willing to do, right? If Pan was just Pan to you, then it would be like, all right, if I miss this, I'm good. If I miss this, I'm okay.
Right.
It was never that for me. Like I've lost jobs over
Mhm.
Pan. I've left jobs over Pan. I remember when I was, and I'm gonna get to your question about this experience with sonatas and being in Florida. But before that, I was 19 and I was here, and I was working at a day camp, right, summer camp, whatever, as a counselor,
Right.
and I was playing with Pantonic then, and I remember going to the camp, and that day, um, Wyclef was supposed to come to the yard by
That's a fact.
Pantonic, right? For a
Mhm.
certain time. I think that was in 2006, right? Because we was playing Band from Space that year. And
Uh-huh.
so yeah, Wycliffe was supposed to come to the yard. And or it might have been, yeah, whatever. And I went to work and I said to my supervisor, and I was like, look, the band that I play with, they're having something and Wyclef. I said Wyclef Jean, so they would be familiar. So familiar, like, oh, okay, it's coming, and they want to do a recording, or what have you.
Mhm.
And the supervisor looked at me and was like, no, just straight up, no, it can't happen. Like, can I please leave early? So me as a counselor, I used to counsel the kids that were like 12 and 13, that age group, and it was me and another guy. So even if I left, there was someone still there with the kids. And I
Right.
was asking to leave like maybe an hour early or 2 hours early. She said,
Mhm.
no. She said, no. Like, okay. So it had another camp counselor. He looked at my face and me and him were good. And he said, you're going to leave, aren't you? And I was like, I am. And he was like, but then you're going to lose your job. And I was like, I know. And I think around 3 o'clock, because it used to be done at 5. So at 3 o'clock, um, I had to leave. I knew I had to leave by 3 o'clock. And I said to the guy I was working with, Ross, I was like, all right, you got to watch the kids. I'm leaving early. I didn't tell him that I already got to know. I was like, you got to watch the kids. I'm leaving early. I hopped in my car and I left. And that was it. Couldn't go back. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got fired?
Yeah. Yeah. You can I left the kids. I left the kids with the other guy. After my supervisor already told me no. And I went. Then I went to the pan yard. I went home, right? Got dressed, whatever I had to do. And then I went to the pan yard.
Damn, didn't you miss that paycheck though?
Yeah, but when you're young and you're that age, and I was in school, I was in college. So me working at that time was more so because I wanted the money. But my mom and dad, it wasn't at that time, but it was like, no, you have to have a job.
Right.
Right. So and then after that, I ended up getting a new job. So you know.
So
But
I
yeah,
was
I definitely left that job for that. Um, so fast forward, like you said, with Sonatas and being in Florida, what happened was, um, during the school year, it was a lot because I can't go. So you miss the stage side of it. But summertime, I used to take us the summer classes so I could graduate quicker when I went to Flomo. And I would leave and I would come, I would do my summer classes. I would come back to New York.
Mm,
Remember, Flomo used to start in August. So before Panorama, now you're getting into crunch time of Panorama, but the beginning of the school semester. I would
right,
leave, go for the first week of classes, go back, fly back to New York
right.
for the week of Panorama, stay
Mm,
up until Juve, leave the Monday, and come back to get to class. Because remember, at Flomo, they didn't have Juve off. They didn't have that. That's Labor Day Monday was not a day
right.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I
that's
remember
what
that I
happened.
used to do the same thing. I used to come up, play for Harmony, go back, and then I would see Sade coming. Yeah, literally, Sade is coming in the class with shades on because she got only like 3 hours of sleep because she came in midnight that night, and she had to come to class early in the morning. And she would come and she would be like quiet. She wouldn't say nothing. She would just be there, just soaking in what has to be done for the day. That's why I say you're amazing, because you somebody who people don't really usually notice these things. Like, you just get away with it because you would like just stay there and say nothing, and the class would be going on and you just do what you have to do. And I would be like, damn, like Shadi just came from New York. I didn't even get to go to New York or whatever the case is, and I would be so jealous. you know?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, continue with Sonatas now.
Yeah, so that was that experience, like between school and back, when you get back, then you just fall in because they would practice often. So then I would just have to fall in terms of stage side.
Right.
But at the time then it wasn't like I was an integral part of that band at that time because
Okay.
they had Mark, right? They had Mark Brooks was doing music. They had Joshua was doing music. They had people, people do music. At that time, it was mostly Mark and Joshua taking care of the stage side music, and then in the summertime, Popwell. But I wasn't an integral part then. When I did become that role, then it was like I hate not being there, right? Because at that time, that's when I ended up going to Virginia. So I remember there was times I would drive to Virginia, drive back to New York, do
Mhm.
music, go back to Virginia. We would have band launchings, and I would leave band launchings to drive back to Virginia
Wow.
to get to work. We
You
did
appreciate
St.
me the most.
Margaret's,
I don't know how.
St. Margaret's one year. My first year actually working at Virginia Arts Festival when I was associate director. Sonatas was going, got invited to go to St. Margaret's Festival in Trinidad, and everything. We had to practice obviously, and I started working in Virginia. So I left, went to Virginia for the week, came back, practiced with the band, left again, came back to go to Trinidad with the band. I think we were scheduled to stay there for a week. I did whatever we had to do, left the band in Trinidad, came back. When I came back, I landed in New Jersey. My parents came and got me, drove home. I live in Long Island, drove home, got in my car, drove back to Virginia in order to be there for a Tuesday morning performance. And this was the first time I was there and doing a performance. The director at the time, he was not going to be there. So I had to take control as associate director of the Rhythm Project kids. It was, and this was my first time. And then I had to do a about the pans, so kind of talk about each pan, how it's made, the range, all of that. And I walked in, like you said, Tuesday morning, glasses on, and like, all right, what do I have to do? Let's go.
And that's the thing, you work under pressure really good. And you told me that yourself. You said, I work under pressure. Like, if you had an assignment, I remember from school, you would do it the night before or you would do it the morning of. And I'm like, how? I would be in the library, like, or in the room, me and James and myself. I would be like scratching my head. Okay, let me try to get this done before I go to bed or whatever. And you would do it the morning of and still come to class. And because you would think that, oh, maybe they won't, if it's maybe Dr. Hall or whichever teacher, they won't ask for it.
hmm
So then you would like do it half-ass, or then you would be like, oh, I forgot to do this. And then you would be
Pretty
like, oh,
much.
should I give it to you? Can I give it to you later? I don't know how you got away with that shit. And that made me free. You know what I mean? That made me feel like, all right, since Sade can get away with this, then I can get away with it too. You know what I mean?
I would actually do it. It would just, it would get done. It would get done.
Yo, I want to play, yeah, because I want to keep it engaged. Trickies, what's up? Trickies, Trickies. I want to show a clip. This is you with sonatas. Okay. This is way after graduation. This is like 5 years ago. And you're with the band and you're playing with them, and this is what it is.
Oh.
By the way, this was arranged by you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Natasha?
That's Natasha. I gotta pick up Natasha. That's my rider right there. She we're gonna play in these bands till our wheel falls off.
And that's what's her name that used to play bass too. Booms used to call her Booms, right?
Who?
Booms. What was it? Booms used to call her?
No, that's Zaria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zaria. AJ, Kadeem, they all,
Outfit nice. Daryl.
yeah.
He's meant to play frontline. Just his appearance, he's just a frontline man, you know. Hey, that's Daryl's solo, or is that just a solo everybody has to do?
That's everybody.
Oh, okay.
I think I gave it to just Daryl and Mark.
Oh, okay.
Always count on Natasha. She's like, she accounts for at least three
Right.
to 4 cello players at once.
Right.
Like I can roll with just Tasha in the middles because she just be playing it.
Yeah. Who are like? I know you had some real close friends in sonatas.
Mhm.
Rish.
Mhm.
Natasha, you know, and that's the ones I know. And then they came down to Flomo one year. Remember, Arisha used to just, I don't know how she did it. She would drive from New York all the way to Florida.
Oh yeah, she was there. Remember, she ended up playing in my recital.
Yep, I remember that. Definitely remember that.
And then
Um,
she helped me out with my recital a lot. Yeah.
yeah. I see my boy AJ in the back there, boy.
AJ. Yo,
Yeah.
AJ is funny. Like, so like a lot of shows we have, like AJ sometimes you like, yo, where is AJ? You would look for AJ, look for AJ. 2 days before, he's gotten, let me give him this, he's gotten a lot better with showing up. But he's be like, yo, where is AJ? No, you can't find AJ at all. 2 days before he come, and he just falling yeah. So what we doing now? AJ with that mentality, like, yeah, now I'm here now.
Yeah, I will tell you, man. It was the same with Harmony, man. There's so many experiences flashing back in my head, but it's just I can't pinpoint one right now. But it was just the same. I just remember AJ, Mike looking for AJ, boy. Mike can't pay me, boy. Mike can't pay me, son.
That sounds about white, as he would say.
Huh?
That sounds about right. That's what AJ would say.
Right. Yeah, man. So let's this section of the interview. Remember, people, you are watching Unsung Influencers. Sade Constantine, musical sister, friend. I mean, it's like we reconnected as if we haven't we were like we were always talking to each other all the time, and
That's
we
how
had
it's
this.
supposed to be.
Oh, all right, let's go to arranges. You had some real pinnacles. I mean, even way before we met each other. Tell me some of your favorite arrangers. Just name them and tell me if you can pick just a few just to describe them. What's your like take on their music, their personality? You know, especially I want to say Bradley and Popwell and
Bradley
Bootsy
and
too,
Papa and Bootsy.
right? Because I know those two are three are your favorite. Am I correct?
I mean, favorite. I mean, Bradley, yes, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure,
number one.
yes. Um, what happens is this, and I tell people this all the time. If I've ever played for you as an arranger, I consider you, and not don't take it away from anyone. Like, oh, if I never played, like, oh, I don't consider you, like, because they're, people now. It's so funny because like, just think back about this, like Duvon, right?
Yeah,
Remember when Duvon used to just do harmony, and
right.
now like you have to listen to what Devon got to say, right? It's like, no, you gonna listen. It went from, and that's something people say, you be that person just knocking at the door. Just give me a little space. Just open the door just a little bit. Let me put my foot in a little bit, right? But then once you get your foot in a little bit, you gonna kick down the door. That was Devon, right? Devon, all you needed was that little, and then take off. But needless to say, like, yeah, I like I just like to hear people arrange, right? I'm all for hearing the different ideas. I'm all for hearing how can I say it? Because music is something that is kind of like math. At some point you have to put it together a certain way, right?
Yeah,
And it's good to see all these formulas that people are coming up with now. It's good to see how things have changed. Because look at how music is done now. Look at how the songs we're choosing now, how
Mhm.
it's changed, right? It definitely has changed. You got people playing things you never would it be like, oh, that was a pan song. And it's good to see. So for me, I'm just enjoying hearing everyone. I'm
It's true.
enjoying.
And just to piggyback off of what you said, arrangements has changed. I mean, I don't know about you, but with me, like growing up listening to so many different bands, so many different arrangers, their styles, then coming up to like when Andre won his first panorama with Adlib, and then like seeing him grow, and
Mhm.
then seeing Mark and everybody else, and just how arranging has changed. Like you said, music has changed so much. With this, I mean, going to practice, having to like, I don't know, trials and tribulations basically of just being in the panyard, like not even having a space to practice, police having to shut you down, you
Yeah.
know, and all of those things, and then having to go to Trinidad, enjoying panorama. I mean, like all these memories is growth as far as I see it. Like when you really check it, you know, when you really check it for yourself, you develop musically. Like somebody said to me yesterday, like music will always be there. Like you can never say you can quit. It's like it's a job. You can never quit music. It's like something you always have.
It's always something you could practice. It's always something you have to. You see what happens is you have to change with the times too with music. You
Mhm.
know, there's times that you sit down, and I've gone back and I've listened to arrangements from, it could be as the 80s, the 70s, because you got to hear, to know where you're going, you got to know where you came from, right?
That's right.
So you go back and you listen to these arrangements, and then you put it against what we hear now, and you like, well, how you think this will stand if you take that arrangement and you put it here today,
Yeah.
right? Because the formula, no matter what you say, the formula has changed. Yes, music is music, right? We always know how we're gonna put these chords together, whatever. But the formula, the way you lay these chords, the way the voicing sounds, the way you
Right.
use the pans, these things now have changed drastically.
Right. And you know, just to go back to Flomo, I remember every voicing mattered to you. Like when you was doing Foster's song, what's the name of it again?
Which one?
That one where you like me to drum that song. You always like me
Oh,
drum.
what you don't know.
What you that was the name of it?
Yeah, what you don't
Okay.
know.
That one I remember like the intro,
Hmm.
nice and slow. You always wanted that to have feeling and emotion, and that's the thing like we have to always stop and remember that's what is important in music. Like your voicing, everything we learn in structures in music class, all of these things like matter because at the end of the day, when you put the whole thing together,
Hmm.
that's what you get back. You get back like taking like a whole day to just do 1 minute or 2 minutes of music because you want everything to sound
Sound.
so good.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I want to play one of your favorite intros, which you pointed out to me yesterday. And I think everybody can relate. Now, I'm not sure which version it was.
It
If it
gotta be
was
on
Pantonic's version or Despa's version.
Pentonic's version.
Pantonic's.
Pentonic's version. What you talking about? Action?
Aha, you get
Action?
it. Yep.
Bradley?
Yeah.
Tell you something about that.
Yeah. Let
Oh,
me tell you,
Blair,
I'm
you
gonna
was
play
playing
it because what we were talking about, what we just spoke about, was putting chords together, putting sounds together, and Bradley was the master of that. You know what I mean? So there we go. Oh, this thing keep moving, man. Come on, go back for me, go back for me, go back for me, go back for me.
that.
Sorry about that, guys. This thing, that's just how you get it with this program, man. You gotta just always start over, go back to the drawing board, just like when you were a kid in preschool, and just redraw your diagram. All right, here we go.
Well, it took maybe the first three notes, and it's just this introduction, man. Oh my gosh.
The minor is something else, though. All Bradley minors.
Bradley's minors was always something else. This intro, man.
Listen to the basses, though. I'm just waiting for the minor here.
The minor start out. Gotta go in there. Go down for the minor.
You hear the voicings though?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, my bad. What you saying?
I said right there, that part was nice too.
Damn, I accidentally hit that button. I was trying to bring the volume down. Yeah, but yeah, I was waiting for the minor, but we get that whole idea of what we was talking about with structure, music, and everything. I mean, there's so much we could talk about in that. Bugsy,
Mm-hmm.
what is your whole thing with Bugsy? Like, I mean, everybody knows he's a genius, but like, give me some specifics of like why you love
You
Bugsy.
listen
Everybody
to
has their reasons why they love.
you listen to like some of the jams that Bugsy would, I was gonna say used to. You know what I'm saying? But again, changing with the times, right? But listen to some of the jams, even to this day, that Bugsy used to. It's just you can't
Like
tell
some,
me like
musical vengeance, was it?
yeah. And then there was like some like he did the what song was it? I really liked it. It was
Sharon Licks.
it might be Shirley or it might be This One's For You, Bradley. When it was like boom, bim 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 that one was it was like what like
Yeah, man. Bugsy. Let me tell you, I study everything Bugsy had. Every single all his records, songs, everything. I have all his Christmas records. Not all of them, but I have a lot of Bugsy. And for me, Bugsy, like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, we know he's a genius, but if we get into specific for me, it's just how he voices. Same thing with voicing. Like the way he voices when he does a solo.
It's a way that like when he solos, it's just a way that you and you know who does that now too, and I'm not gonna hold you from listening to him and Andre, right? You see like how Andre just won those what was it that they had in it was like an international thing and everybody was playing online and he kind of swept the categories. But it's the voicing of like when you solo, how the delivery of it is you're able to they're playing the melody,
Mm.
but the chord structure behind what they're playing. And Quint does it too, but Quint, I need to study. Quint is somebody you gotta study.
Yeah, that surprised me, boy. I don't know
Yeah,
how it like it coming out of him so naturally, and it's like to me, I have to practice.
yeah.
You have,
Kareem, they doing it now, and I think that's why it was so easy for them to when they did this competition for them to kind of come out on top
yeah,
because they got it. You know, like that's something you got to practice that. That's not it's not going that's not a here today kind of thing, right?
yeah.
Because it's a feeling you gotta move with the music, right? And so they're able to manipulate the chords and still keep the melody and then put your solo on top and still manipulate the chords some more. And then yeah, so you know,
Yeah, boy, that is right. What other arrangers would you say? I know you like Natasha. I know you like Michelle
Natasha
Higgins.
Joseph. you know I love Michelle Huggins Watts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
I remember we were sitting on the lunch table listening to Panorama, and he was like, "That's the band you have to listen for. That band that same band Bradley had arranged for that band 1 year too.
Valley Heart.
Valley Hops, yeah, Valley Hops. Boy, you remember that time, and it was something with that song too. She did. I remember we were sitting down talking about it, and be like, "Wow, she did that." Yo, those
Mhm.
memories, and I mean, every arranger is unique, right? I guess then you could safely say that we just all have our memories about certain arrangers that we love certain things about them and so on. It's just like you just see it, you just listen to it, you watch it, it just becomes something that you just marvel about, you know. Let's talk about drummers. Drummers. I know drumming is a big thing with you.
You said drummers.
Move on, book up. I said book up. Big up yourself, bro. Yeah, drummers. I know you are you and I, we both
Mhm.
study drummers and how good they are. Before we actually say this, right? I want to shout out my boy Joshua. You know how much I adore Joshua's drumming, right?
Mhm.
And I kept
Joshua drum for my recital. Remember, I flew
right,
Joshua to come to
right,
my recital. Yeah.
right. We're gonna play a little piece of that.
Oh, yes.
We're going to, and no question about it, ma'am. We are going to show it soon after I say what I'm gonna say right now. Okay, do not debate with me. All right. So yeah. What was I saying? So yeah. I mean, Joshua for me, in terms of New York drummers, is my number one.
Mhm.
Joshua is my number one drummer. Then I would say followed by KJ would be my second favorite. So
Mhm.
Josh, KJ, and if I had to put a third place drummer, boy, who would I put third? I think I'll go with Sheldon. I think I'll go with Sheldon
Oh,
Twaits.
okay, I guess you wouldn't consider New York, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, in terms of drumming, because I mean, first when I first joined Sonatas, I was only there for like
Mhm.
2 months. The first two people I met was Joshua and Mark, and those I mean, I had just came from St. Lucia. Like it was cold. I didn't like the cold, and those two they were like my brothers. And Josh and I, we spoke a lot. And when he came down for your recital, I was like, boy, I want to hear you drum because you don't know. You hold a band. He holds a rhythm and a structure to a song so good. So good. He's really good at it. And he doesn't even know that. He's really good. And when I came and I graduated out of Flomo and I came back to New York and I saw
Mhm.
the other drummer, I was like, where's Josh? I was like, where's Josh? Not saying nothing against thing, I really like him. But Josh was my number one pick. I was like, where is Josh? And I know at that time I think he was going through certain things with management or whatever the case was, the problem. But yeah, so enough about me. So what's your top three in New York? And then maybe we'll go to Trinidad and see what's maybe your favorite. And then we'll go in general.
Listen, guy, listen, man. My favorite drummer is my uncle, and he's no longer here. But he was the guy, man. But that right now, I don't really know. Like, know what it is.
You know what it is.
I don't like to name favorites.
You
Because
see,
listen,
I know why you're doing
I
that.
knew you was gonna do that.
I know why you're doing that.
I like to
know why you're
be
doing that.
but no, because look,
All right.
everybody listen to
You just don't want to say
gotta-
Foster's your favorite.
listen. Seriously, on a serious note, you gotta understand. Like every drummer has a strong suit. There, you got some drummers that's like overall, like they hit it, right? But then you got some drummers that you like. Listen, I need you just because I know I'm playing a soca song, and I know what you're gonna give me.
Right.
Then you have some drummers there. You're like, I need you to feel it. Like there, you could be a great soca drummer, and you can't play a lick of gospel.
That's
And
true.
gospel is a different feeling when you sit on them drum sets, right? When you sit on because everything come from here, right? So, like you need to be able to take as an arranger, and I think if we talking from an arrangement standpoint, you feel the music, right? When you give out a certain part, and I think even that's where you have to have patience, because when you give out a certain part in your mind, when you do the music, when you're arranging the music before you give it to the band, in your mind, the way you need that to be delivered is something you're feeling, right? So if you need a part to be delivered and it has to be sad, or you need a part that needs to be delivered with power, you already know that from when you did it.
Yeah.
So when you give it to the band and then your drummer is not giving you that, that tears you inside, right? But some drummers can't do that. I'm not saying, or some drummers learn to do it. They learn how to move with the band, move with what's going on with the arranger. So I feel like there's some great drummers that could ref for you. If I'm giving you strictly soca, we could play. You could talk to me all day. But if I know I'm about to put down a piece of jazz or a piece of hip hop or whatever, I'd be like, oh, no, you're not gonna give it to me. And then so that's why I can see why you say KJ, Sheldon, like you give them anything to play, or you change it up on them in the middle of a song, they're gonna deliver.
Yeah, for real. Facts. Just one drummer that crossed my mind. Yeah, one drummer that crossed my mind. He played with us for oh, my tongue twisting here. He played with us for Panorama one year. I forgot his name, man. An older guy. That man was so tight, bro. With Harmon, I forgot his name, man. But like you said, as you were saying that, I thought about him. Shoot, forgot his name. It'll come to me. I'll let you know. But what I want to do, I want to show a little piece of what you don't want me to show, and whether you like it or not, I will show it. Okay, and hopefully this thing doesn't.
I don't have options.
You don't have.
have options.
You have options. Okay. All right. Here we go. So this is. You know what this is?
Oh, no, what is this?
You don't know what this is?
It's my recital. It's my recital.
This is your recital. All right. Do you have this? Do you have this footage?
I have some recital footage. Yes. Do I have this footage? I don't know until you play it.
That's it. But I played it for you earlier.
What's this?
Right, there we go.
Oh, Mr. Magic.
Now listen to how tight Joshua is playing, right? Just watching him the whole time.
So what's funny with this song is that I started playing this song when I got to Sonatas, right? This was one of their stateside songs.
Right.
And Joshua always used to drum it, but
Right.
he was always like tight, like it was clean with the
Yeah.
song in the pocket, right? And I remember when we played my recital, and I think that was the first song on my recital. This was the first song, and remember I did a whole live band, so it was the horns, the piano, everything. And Joshua is naturally just a strong drummer, and we had him mic'd. So I'm when I started playing, you couldn't hear me because Joshua was just like,
Yeah.
but he's not playing loud, but the audio guy didn't know or didn't think to like, oh, let me lower him down because Joshua's kick was just going, and then he had just bought I think the firecracker snare, so when
Yeah.
you hit that shit, it's like tuck, and he I was like, yeah,
Yeah, boy. I remember that. Yeah, he came down with that firecracker snare.
yeah.
And man, I was the rehearsals for that whole recital was like, boy, that's business right there. Like, we going through it. Orisha is here, Karen, Annie, everybody is like in the rehearsal. I'm like, yo, this recital is gonna be fire right now. And
Mhm.
let's listen, who's soloing right now? Who's this?
Probably Annie.
You can hear it good, right?
Annie. Look at my hornman in the back.
Yeah, look at Jasmine. Annie's just a beast, man.
Karen, take a solo. You remember Karen used to tell you no, straight up. I'm gonna hold up chords, and that's what we're gonna do. And you remember Karen used to play some beautiful chords on the piano, like
That's Matthew.
yeah, man.
Now you know Matthew was one of those dude that's always studying music. He's always thinking of. He's like a scientist,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. I remember Matthew used to continue. Matthew was one of the people that like you had to you had to know how to keep up with him in terms of music. Because
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember, he used to come and he used to ask you, like, you already know, if you're listening to a song and you like, you start transcribing it and you're about to arrange it and you're like, all right, well, this voicing would sound good, or this kind of movement could really open up the song, right? And Matthew would be the one to kind of challenge that, not in a bad way, but he would make you think like, well, what if you add this on top?
right,
And
right.
it's stuff that you would never, you'd be like, what? And then he'd be like, all right, well, try it. And he would add something on top and you would add it on top and you'd be like,
Yeah, between Mark and between Mark, Mr. Mustafa and Matthew,
mhm,
those were like the theory kind of guys,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, let's hear this one.
No, we don't. Come on, be good. We're good.
Now we're good, huh?
Very good. The singers in the back, shout out to them. That was Trey Keys,
Jay
Shauna
Allen.
Lee, Jay Allen, and Humphrey Allen.
Yeah. What's
So
the name?
they was
Keanu
the
back there?
huh?
No, that's Trickies.
Now that's Trey Keys and
Darcy.
Shauna Lee.
That's Darcy up there and at the end on the left.
No, Darcy wasn't in my recital. Darcy was gone by then.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's only Trickies. Trickies had the shortcut. Then she cut her hair short, and that's Shauna Lee next to her, and then Jay Allen and Humphrey. instrument vocals. Listen to some of their vocals in the background. They're waiting for it.
No need to ask because you
Ooh, boy, yeah.
All right, good here. All right, good.
Why? Why you wanna stop? You always want
No,
me to
this is
stop.
good. We're good. We can move on past this one. We are very good on this one now. I just wanted to hear Trikisa over the back because I used to love how they sing.
Uh, yeah, man. Trikis is a beast. I mean, boy, her voice was something else. Like literally
All
something
one,
else.
Shauna Lee, all of them.
Yo, but watch this memory. I don't know if you've seen this. Right? Watch this. See, so easy to play.
Why you gotta try to avoid eye
And take it
contact?
away. Woo, woo. Go, girl.
Stop it now. Look, this was one of those songs. This was one of the times, again, Mr. Mufasa, Mr. Mustafa, Junior would put the sheet music and it's like, all right, let's go. Oh yeah, we're gonna do it at a show, and we practice this, and then when you don't want to, that's when he points to you. And of course, you remember this was when we were doing like a jazz tour to the different high schools. I don't know if you remember that. And then he just like pointed to me. And I don't think you remember, but I wasn't going to rehearsal. So when I came to this, it was just like, oh, really?
Yeah, I can't forget that, man. Like those are like real memories. Like you can't leave those memories out whatsoever. You know, wow. I mean, I think we covered everything that I wanted to ever like cover. It's just memories that we leave behind. I don't know if anybody on here want to say something to Sade. If you have a question, you have like something you want to give her a flower. It's not like you're old, but it's not. But life is short. I mean, like I always say, like we have to always show love at given points in time. Like we don't have to wait until you get 50, 60 years old. What if I never you never get to see that age? What if I never get to see that age? You feel me? We celebrate something now. That way we know we have it there. Anytime we want to go back to it and watch it and look at it and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, man, I tell you, memories. I think I touched every video here that I wanted to show. We been speaking for like 3 hours already.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I can't see the time. I don't know how much time we've been on here. Does it 2 hours? 2 hours now.
Oh.
Yeah, we've been on here 2 hours. No, it's more than that. It's going on 3 hours. Here's a comment. Natasha Edwards Isaac.
No, no. No.
They know.
What'd she say?
You're making me laugh. You just went no for no reason. She said, "Oh my gosh." She said, "Hey Sade, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm just showing love, you know."
You
Uh
know, tell Tasha she must have missed out. I did not big up in earlier. I big up earlier about how good she was on pad. What you mean, Natasha? How could I forget you?
that's one of those pan players I like to see play. I like to see her
Yeah.
play. Like she has a nice way of like controlling her body when she plays. I
Yeah,
like to see.
she has good. You know what's good about Natasha is that again, understanding feelings,
Ah,
right? So what happens is if you give Natasha a part and you just all you have to do is explain. You don't even have to explain. She just has a natural way of knowing how to deliver on
mhm.
the cello, right? Because I kind of think back to a couple years ago, BSO had a show and we did Bust Your Windows,
Right.
right? And again, they already talk about, making this, it has to be a story, right? At some point, what your music is a story within itself, whether it's based on the lyrics or whether it's based on personal, there's a story behind why you're doing a part, right?
Mm,
And there was just a part of the song where the cello was kind of the front line was playing more of a classical melodic line
mm.
in the front, but it was supposed to be sad, right? Because now the person, if you know the premise of the song, bust your windows, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoever cheating, and that part of the song was supposed to be like she's crying. So I gave the front line like these lines, these melodic lines that kind of were classically kind of going in between, and Natasha had the melody. And I remember giving her the melody, and then at first, sometimes it doesn't sound like anything when you don't have what you need, right?
Mhm.
When you don't have the effect of the drums, the full band.
Right.
But I remember when the full band, maybe like 2 nights, 3 nights before the show came, everybody was finally there at once.
Yeah.
And we ran through it. And Natasha played that part. And I was like, yeah, she got it. Cause it was like it was nothing to be said. She
Right.
made the part do what it needed to do, which give you a feeling of sadness. Like, and it was just like, see, that's what you need. You need somebody that could deliver that. If you
Yeah.
can't play it, right? I can't play every pan. So that was yeah.
Yeah, you definitely that's one of the friends I know you've been had from I don't know before I met you. I know y'all were tight from then back
I
then.
know Natasha before she was even off the baby bottle, Yeah. And now she, like my parents and my family call her I'm a big girl now, right? Because she growed, right? So they call her I'm a big girl now.
Yeah, man, she's really nice, man. She actually sent me that song crazy sharing links. I was looking for it everywhere. I asked somebody on Facebook and she was like, "Yeah," she inboxed me. I got it.
She
What's
got
your email?
anything. She got anything. Sasha is a walking iPod. You
Yeah.
need something, ask her. If you her or Kern Lavelle,
Ah,
especially if it's Pan, ask one of them.
yeah, man. Colin, he says, your journey is sparking a fire for me to continue progressing in this life. Hey, Shada, you hear that?
Oh, thank you, Carlin. It's actually doing this is actually sparking a fire for me to go practice.
Uh,
I really haven't practiced in a little bit, and it's actually more of a frustration thing because of the fact that COVID. You can't practice with the band. We're trying to figure out now. The the logistics of how we could practice. So it kind of makes me want to kind of just go do your thing.
Were you there with us when we went down to Big Mike? It was Colin driving, Melch was in the driver's seat. I
Yes,
was in the back.
yeah,
You was
I was
there?
there. Yeah,
What? Jeez. We went down to Big Mike. I think Colin was gonna either pick up his pan or tune it.
yeah, we was there like the whole day.
Yeah,
That was
nah,
it. He
it was
picked us
towards the
up.
evening.
Yeah.
It was towards the evening we went there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
That was it. That was the first time I met him, and I actually thought he was related to Melch. They kind of had a resemblance.
Right. Exactly. Because they actually born close together. The birthdays
Oh,
are almost like close together and stuff.
yep.
Yeah, boy. Pope, Melch, Pope, boy. Hey, let's talk about Melch just for a little bit. Yeah, Melch is like a brother, man. I mean, boy, that bass man, boy. Anyway, I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know what to say. You can probably say much more than me when it comes to Pope. I just know him as a Vinci brother. I mean, being I'm from St. Lucia, he's Vinci. We have that kind of bond because he always used to come to St. Lucia and he used to tell me about it. And I was like, okay, Melch. You
No,
know,
Melch was Trini.
Melch is half Vinci, half Trini.
Was it half Vinci and half Trini, or was he Trini and he moved his family moved to Vinci?
No, I think he was born Vinci and then his family moved to Trinidad, or it was something of that sort.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Melch is big brother, man.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, talking about Big Mike. What are some memories you have of Big Mike? Big Mike is a tuner, by the way. He used to tune our pans for the school and or whatever. What's your memories of them times there, boy, in school? I mean, before we close out.
Um, I think my memory of Big Mike, I think, was us going down there to take that tuning class with him. I remember on Saturdays, it was me, you, and Kadeem traveling all the way down to Big Mike to do tuning. And I remember, like, people ask me all the time, like, and anybody would tell you if they know me really well. Natasha will tell you, my parents will tell you, my sister would tell. I do not like loud music. I do not like loud sounds. Right? And they're like, "How don't you like loud sounds?" And I was like, "If it's in a pan yard, it's different."
Right.
But other than that, I don't like loud sounds. So I don't know if you remember when we used to go to Big Mike and we used to have to do the first of all, when we started using the machine
Yeah,
to
to see.
kind yeah, to groove the pan and stuff.
Yeah,
That was one thing. Then we had to when we was burning the pan or whatever. That
yeah.
was another thing. But then when the tuning started, I wanted no parts of it. I think that's probably my biggest regret. Like learning to tune I mean, I got the gist of it, right? But
Right.
had I taken it as serious as Big Mike wanted
Yeah.
us to, I mean, who knows, right? But I just cannot do loud sounds. So tuners, people who are tuners, I applaud you. I applaud you. I can't. Oh my gosh.
I remember
But
like we had to wake up early Saturday, take the train.
take the
Foster would pick
train.
us up from the train
Oh yeah,
station,
Foster would pick us up, and
right?
then he would take us by Big Mike, and then we do the class. And
Right.
I mean, that Big Mike owed me a pan, because we definitely made like 2 or 3 pans, and he said we could take it when we was done. He owed me a pan, but the experience was definitely good. The experience was definitely good. And you remember he had stories for days too. He had stories and experiences for days too.
You
And I
remember
think,
Mike?
huh?
Small Mike.
His son.
Yeah, small Mike. Boy, this man can talk, boy.
Yep. Yep. I
What
mean,
was the story Small Mike used to give about him and his? Oh, that's how he got his name, Small Mike, and Bust Up Shut and how Oh my God, yo! You think it's one memory, yo? If we had to really like sit and just talk about memories, it would just take months, days, weeks to actually sit there and talk about shit, that happened over there, bro. It
mhm,
was crazy. It was just crazy.
yeah.
Oh man, I mean, any final thoughts? I don't want to like make this too long, because it's already 2 hours, and then I'm not editing this. I'm just uploading it on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna have to send you. I'm gonna actually send you the playlist now, so you can see it, and with all the videos, so you could go back and watch it.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yeah, any final things you want to say, and then I want to take us out, or you want to take us out with something to watch, and then maybe come back.
No, I don't have anything for you to watch.
All right. Let
um,
me.
go ahead.
I'll choose. Um, I'll choose. All right. Let me. Maybe I should show everyone the whole playlist. Maybe I should. Nah, me. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna show you. You're gonna share the playlist. If you want to share it, you can share it. All the videos are unlisted. So you can't just go on YouTube and search it. You feel me? So it's just up to you to share it.
Mm.
Unless you want me to make them public, then I'll do that. All right, whatever. So you have between your classical piece, Liam Teague, you Shanali and
Orisha.
Annie playing together. You have the national anthem of the United States of America. You have you and Jasmine doing the air training thing. You have sonatas, one of your other sonatas. I think Coffee Street. I think that was. Um, and that's pretty much it.
You know what we gotta do? I gotta do it one time. I have to do it one time for let me see if I can find it on my computer. Maybe I can share my screen. I gotta do it one time for Genesis. We can't, we're not gonna
Yeah.
close out
This is
without.
like your documentary, basically. This is like maybe your own
What we gonna do?
documentary series.
I don't
In
even have any footage on here. I'm not a footage person.
so in the meantime, while you search for that,
You could do bust your windows. You could do bust your windows. You could
it's on YouTube.
on YouTube somewhere. There's one of them. It's only like 5 minutes.
Bust Your Windows by Sonatas.
What? Nah, Genesis.
I'm sorry, I said Sonatas. Genesis.
Yeah. Um,
Genesis
I'm trying to figure out
Steel Orchestra.
the video.
Oh wow, those camera angles look nice already. BSO. All right, so there's two versions. There's one by Brooklyn Steel, and the other one was When Steel Talks. But I think When Steel Talks had the camera angle from the top.
Yeah, whatever works. Whatever
Yeah.
works.
All right, so
Like this is one of those songs where you go back and after you listen to it, like there could have been more done, but it
mm,
was just like um timing, right? So you kind of have to do what you got to do within a certain time and with the players and how it fell. So um I'm not disappointed in the song. I definitely know it could have been better, but I appreciate the people that played in the song and kind of going with me with this song because it was up in the air. So shout out everybody. Shout out my homegirl Chanel in there playing for the first time. But yeah,
mhm. All right, so let me share first, and then always, instead of doing the whole screen thing, I have to crop it. I'm gonna find a way to make it easier for myself to do so, but unfortunately, I have. Oh, there we go. All right, cool.
When Steel talks, everybody listens.
It's my first time actually hearing this. 2019 recently.
This is the part I was talking about with Tasha.
Sorry for the choppiness. It's kind of eating up because of the I think it's how long we've been on here. So hey, that was just all about the end. Wow. We got up to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, listen, I was while this was playing, I just found some more memories that we had.
Oh boy.
I don't know where these are coming from. Honestly, ask me where they coming from. I don't know. This was in the trailer. It's just a couple minutes. Boy, where is it, man? You probably had memory. I think it was for your recital. No, you were organizing. Hold up. Talk to the people real quick. Let me try to get it.
What do you want me to say to them? What do you want me to say to
Let me
the people?
try to get it.
I can't even see the people.
Wait, hold on. My volume is down.
The people see me.
Let me get it. Let me get it.
You're like a walk-in time machine, man. You got all the memories.
Yeah, like I said, like
I know
all
who
of
to send
these
people to.
things. I had all of these things here, and I was unaware that they were there. Like honestly, I was about to close this thing. I'm like, yo, I have more, but it's just like short little videos, snippets. I think you was doing boy, where is it? You was doing some kind of vibe. Um, it's called Sade is teaching. Let's listen.
Oh, I just see. Oh, okay. This was wasn't this for something you had to do?
I think I don't know.
I think this was something you had to do, and you were asking me. I'm not sure if it was
Oh,
about
here we go. I got it.
coding or scales and how
I
we
got
do it.
I got it. I got it. Let's go back to screen, and it's just like short, like 1 minute videos, couple of seconds, blah blah blah.
Shadi is
I'll
teaching.
play a scale, right?
So this is for
I
you.
want to start from the lowest note, right? And then I want to go up the scale until I get to the highest note on the pad. So F sharp, what do I start from F sharp? Okay. So that means when I play a sharp scale, right? I can still go up.
Well, you're never going to be able to play all the notes all the way up to the highest note. But if you want to play up to the highest note that you can,
That's B.
then you play a B scale, so you can go up 3 octaves.
Hey. Oh.
You see, Mel.
Yo, he was.
I can still go up.
I don't know. I don't even understand why Welsh actors speak.
What is that your story? You don't sound familiar?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like Chanel's trying to show me. I don't know for the tenor patterns. I know for the double seconds. The F sharp is the lowest note, but like when you go up the scale, it's not that you're not gonna be able to play all the high notes. I know for C, like when you play C, you're gonna reach the highest note. Which is the highest note. Right? But then
Every note, but every note, if you play a chromatic, from F sharp all the way up, you can.
you know F sharp, F sharp, F sharp.
This was the old trailer.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
It's about 10 of them, just really short video,
Oh, yeah.
30 seconds.
I can't. This is ridiculous.
This was for your class.
Oh, this wasn't for me. This was for you. I can't even remember honestly who was getting this. You know me. I wasn't putting no video for no.
I can't remember either.
Yo, take this off. Again, live with your mindset.
I heard they just asked me this one. I just asked me this one.
I split, I smoke. You understand what you just said?
Okay, exactly.
I'm gonna put this precise. What? I think you know what I like.
You turn it around.
Oh shit, man. This was
Okay, you wanna get
yo, it was something else, man. I'm gonna send you all of this so you can watch it.
Okay.
All right. I just sent you one, and then some of them were you playing and whatever. But Melch was just stupid. He was just always trying to ridicule me at some points, and I wasn't having it. That's just how Melch was. All of them were like that with me. Like I used to say something, I would say something silly, and they'd be like, "Jones, Jones, you high?" Yeah, that's how you relax.
Yeah, Jones, you on a height sword.
In a height sword.
You're on a height sword.
Jaffwai. Yeah, so last words, Sade, before you go. This was yours. The other thing, my whole, I don't know how to describe it. I never could find words honestly to pick what I want to say. It's hard. It's hard for me to actually say what I want to say. It's just, I don't want to say it's just a tribute. I don't want to say it's just me just going over memories. I want to say more than that, man. I tell
Well,
you, man,
I appreciate it. I'm glad that you thought about me.
you always say that I have this
Being
AI
an
here.
influencer, so to speak. Maybe I don't know about all of that, but I do appreciate it. It's always nice when you could go back down memory lane. It that's what it going back and looking at those things kind of make that, like I said, it makes you want to practice, because I remember what I had to do to make sure that I was on top of my game at all times there, right? Because it used to be anytime you have to play, and it wasn't many options, so you had no choice but to practice, right? And
Yeah.
you kind of get into a pattern where it's like, all right, let me practice. I remember there were times where we would say we were going in practice, we would pull out the pans outside the music building, and then it took 2 hours of us lollygagging before we actually touched the pan, right? But now you don't even have those sort of opportunities to do that, and the challenge of having certain people, because remember there was a time when Foster started coming, and he
Yeah.
was working with us, and you know Foster is no easy one to keep up with when it came to soloing either, right? So remember he came and he started challenging us to practice more and telling us stories about when he was on campus there, and he would just practice for hours. Nobody had to tell him anything. He would go in the choir room, practice, go on the drum set, practice, do this, do that. And then you're now trying to keep up with that because again, like you said, we came on the later end of it, but that school had already went through the remember Quent, Freddie, Foster, Kareem,
Right.
right? Kendall. The school had already gone through some people that they was playing,
Yeah.
right? So when I came, you had to fall in with that.
Right. Exactly.
So
You kind of had to hold up the legacy to a
right,
certain degree. Yeah.
you have to fall in with that, and so it was a good experience. I would like I said, I don't regret any part of that those 2 years at Flomo when I got this to when I graduated. Um, I don't regret any instances with Dr. B. If anything, I appreciate them more.
Mm.
Miss Yarlin, Mr. Mustafa.
Yeah, boy.
So, it was good doing this because it kind of made me say, go practice. The pen is there. Why am I not practicing?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's it. I might go do some music and get myself together.
Yeah. I'm glad we did this, and this was really like memorable. Like
Mhm.
it put me in a place that I've never been before, like actually stopping and spending this much time reminiscing over something that happened because we just continue into the future and like yeah, we have little pit stops here and there. We remember Bradley, we remember certain memories that we had when it comes to music wise, and also memories from school. You know what I mean? Like you say, Foster. I remember Foster telling us stories about him versus Freddie.
Mhm.
Them kind of thing, and then Kendall would have his stories, and then it was just everything, man. Like it was just like a village raising a child. You feel me?
Mhm.
You had all these teachers and everybody, and I mean, you had Pop. Well, I mean, everybody had an influence,
Yeah,
and today in this world, I think we have it, but I don't know what is gonna be next year. I hope we get back to the life that we used to have,
yeah,
and we could at least take a moment, do a homecoming, whatever it is, man, whatever it takes. Like the flights are cheap, and we could just decide, well, we just doing a little vibe, and we come down and see each other again, and so on. That's what I hope, I wish. That's my wish,
hmm
for the future, and yeah, man, that's just it.
hmm
Yeah, man, yeah. So, if there's nothing else to say, I mean, I thank you for taking this time out, your busy schedule, after trying to get this live going for like a good 2 hours,
definitely.
and to stay on here for another 2 hours plus again there's no money that can repay this, having to pay for this thing and getting it going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, people, this DJ Panras. um Gladly check out. I have some merch. I started making masks, t-shirts. I started doing a whole bunch of things, and it's on my Teespring page. If you just search anything 868, if you're a Trini, Jamaican, whatever you are, like, you just search, put the area code, and just put the country, and you should see all my stuff. I started designing just like 2 weeks ago. So if y'all want to support, that is up to you. Want to get a mask? One of them say 868. Basically, like, some of them say son of the soil, daughter of the soil, Trini gal, 868 Trini gal, Trini boy. Them kind of vibe, like simple stuff that you could show. So I
hmm
started doing that. Also the YouTube channel, Y'all could check out the YouTube channel. So far, man, 11.6 thousand subscribers. So I appreciate everybody who like maybe listening now. That's probably subscribe. If not, then you could check out the YouTube. I'm pushing these little interviews with people like sitting down memory lane, going on memory lane.
Mhm.
And basically right now, like it's hard, it's tough. The world is tough. So this is what I want to give back to people who appreciate it. You know what I mean? Um
Celebrating cultures, man.
yeah, man, just check that out and yeah,
Nice.
more music, more development.
Yeah, man.
More
The
things to
story's
come.
still being written, man. It's still being written.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So Sade, I
Yeah.
want to say good night to you finally and everybody listening. This was Unsung Influencers with DJ Panras featuring Sade Constantine, the great, the magnificent, amazing space thief. Sade Constantine, and we signing off.
We're signing off. Thank you,
Until
Ashley.
next time,
All
big up
right.
yourself. All right. Yeah. Peace.